Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 239. Back down in the basement with my teenage son to talk some wrestling a little bit early this week. It is a Thursday.
Talk to him about our conditions.
We have been pummeled with snow to the point where something I said last night to you would never happened today, and that was that not only were buses...
You're pretty good at calling your shot, whether it's on air or not.
Yeah. So I said... Oh, buses
this is with less grim consequences.
Yeah, I didn't kill anyone, I don't think. Buses might be canceled.
I mean, with the snow, you don't know.
But they never close the schools. Like, the teachers
No,
will have to...
that's the surprising part to me, because we always get bus cancellation, and then it's kind of like it's as good as canceled, because most people
There is a culture
off,
at your school of when buses are canceled, nobody goes, right? So, like, I don't make you and your brother go, you stay home. So...
Yeah.
We woke up today, and it's always your mother, so her alarm went off, and I said, our bus is canceled? And she goes... schools are closed, and I'm like, are you sure? Like, I was half asleep.
That's the crazy part.
I was shocked, right? So gave us some time to catch up on work and catch up on whatever we needed to, and you have a busy weekend because you're doing what?
So we got Peeps coming up tomorrow night. We're recording this on Thursday, so Friday night we'll say. Then Saturday we're gonna watch the Captain America movie, the new one, which looking rough.
Is it?
Yeah, because I'll talk about it briefly. I was kind of looking forward to, because the initial trailers look pretty good. It's like, you ever see Anthony Mackie in anything?
Don't think so, but
okay.
I'll Google him
Look
right
him
now.
up, yeah. So anyways, he was Falcon, right? Went back when, Chris Evans was Captain America.
Yes, I know who that is.
So he no more Captain America. Now Mackie's Captain America, and they did a Disney Plus show, I think, back in 2021.
I know Anthony Mackie. I don't know from what, but I've seen him.
So him, yeah. And
he's 46.
He had a show with Sebastian Stan, who I think is great too. But he's not in the movie. But anyways, he's Captain America now, so it's like, people call it Captain America 4, but to me it's like, it's kind of removed from, because it's not much related, at least, to Evan's trilogy, right?
Is it a reboot?
Kinda, but like, it's the thing in the comics that he becomes Captain America, so it's fine. Anyways,
The headline says mixed reactions. I'm seeing right here.
So, and Harrison Ford is Red Hulk.
Wow. Okay.
Because the guy
they needed a 1,000-year-old white guy.
Well, yeah, because the William Hurt used to play the character that he's playing.
Yeah.
He died.
Okay.
So, anyways, he's that. And so I've heard, I remember seeing a few weeks back that the test screenings weren't going well, and they were doing a lot of reshoots, and that's always kind of a bad thing if you have to do a lot of reshoots.
Correct.
Because it costs more.
Not a good sign, for sure.
Takes more time, costs more money. It's like, sometimes it makes the plot a little janky,
uneven,
right?
Yes. And clearly you didn't get it right the first time.
Right. And then, so I've seen some early spoiler-free reviews, and one guy was saying it's more of a sequel to The Incredible Hulk from 2008 than it is for Anthony Mackie in his story, which is kind of not good, because one, that movie's like over a decade old. Two, that movie's horrible. It's the Ed Norton one.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Right.
So in the comparison, there's a lot of characters and stuff from that. Giancarlo Esposito?
Yes.
From Mandalorian or Breaking Bad?
Yes, I do.
He's in it. Apparently, he plays like a pretty throwaway character. When he was in a while back, there's rumors he would play Professor X. So
okay,
that's a drop down, right?
Yeah.
And I heard it's just like Red Hulk's really sick, but he's not in it a lot. Like, so it's not looking great, which sucks. But
so you're going to that?
Yeah, and then I'm excited because for the big game, they call it the big game trailer. Obviously, they had a trailer for Thunderbolts, which was supposed to come out on my birthday, but now it's moved up to May. That one does have Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
And that one looks pretty cool. It's weird because it's like basically the team's a bunch of people who just punch and shoot, but I don't know, something about it looks really good to me. David Harbour's in it.
Yeah.
You know him?
No. David Harbour?
Yeah. And then you watch 22 Jump Street?
Yes.
You know Zook? The
Kinda.
football guy that
yeah.
He's in it. Because he was in the show with Anthony Mackie. He's John Walker. He basically took over for Captain America after. And what I like about him is, I was saying it to my friend, even though he hasn't watched The Office, he to me is Gabe.
Oh boy.
Because everyone hates him, but he's great at it, and I love him. I don't like Gabe,
but he's really good as
John
Gabe.
Walker. It's like, because
Gabe on The Office makes you feel the way you're supposed to
right.
feel.
And for John Walker, it's like Captain America. He's supposed to be like the best guy. He's like the perfect dude, right? And this guy is clearly very flawed, but he takes over because the government, like, he's a super accomplished soldier. And so it's just like, basically he's the wrong guy to do it, and I think he's perfect as that. Everyone hates him, but I love him because he's supposed to be this annoying jackass. So I think he's great. But anyways, parts of that movie look great. This one's not sounding great, which sucks because.
So you're going with your friend, couple out of towners and one local, and then you're staying over where? Not at my house? Not at this house?
For one night. Yeah, because
here?
Tomorrow night, I think.
Tomorrow you're here? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your brother
Anyways,
only has games
movie
Saturday,
talk.
and it's a long weekend here. It's Family Day weekend, so Monday is a holiday, which is awesome. And yeah, I don't know
What else is Monday?
Monday. I don't know what else could Monday be. It's
Oh,
nothing.
Raw.
Yes, that's
There
right.
it is. That's
More
what it
Raw.
is. That's what it is.
Couldn't be anyone's birthday or
No,
anything. I
no,
don't think.
that's not how things work.
No. So I don't know. We should get into. We will add a couple things. We're gonna do what we always do, which is talk about AEW Dynamite, talk about NXT, talk about Raw. We're gonna also preview NXT Vengeance Day and AEW Grand Slam towards the end of this podcast. Always timestamps. Can always jump ahead to whatever you like. Last episode picked up a bunch of viewers on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah,
still
you were telling me about that.
pretty small numbers, but pretty good. So thanks for that. A couple new subscribers, which is awesome. So yeah, incremental growth for a podcast that does do nothing to promote itself at all, that are hobbyists, but it's always nice to see more people listening in. Comment if you would like. We usually get back to everybody that comments on a platform where I can see it, but I reckon we should get into talking about some wrestling officially now. So it's our first segment every week. It's what we call news and rumors. Taking a look at the ratings, I only have NXT that just came out like minutes ago because we are recording a couple days earlier than we sometimes do. So NXT this week averaged 801,000 viewers. I don't have the percent up, but that's up from 766,000. So over 800,000 seems like a very good number for them. Demo rating of 0.18, which is down slightly from 0.20 last week. And so I like this. 1 year ago, NXT delivered 650,000 viewers and a 0.17, so up like 150,000 viewers and a little bit in the demo rating. They have to be happy with that. It seems like whatever it is, the move to CW has led to a bunch more people watching.
Seems like it.
Yeah. So nothing for AEW. I might remember to add it next week, but probably not. So if you're really interested in their ratings, you may have to look it up on your own or listen to somebody else who talks about it. What do you have for news? I told you I only have like 4 things.
So big ones is kind of like I'll do the one and then piggyback off for another one. The first part is that Ricky Starks, Miro, and Malachi Black have all departed AEW.
Right.
I think Malachi was
represented
expired.
in your figures here. Very timely.
Malachi's contract expired. I think the other 2 were let go or came to a
Yeah.
deal.
Malachi's apparently what I'm reading. He had a contract till 2027.
Oh, I thought his was expired.
No, he was signed long term apparently.
Oh, I thought his.
I think
heard
Starks
his
was
deal
done.
expired.
Miro, I don't know about him.
Oh, I saw Miro. They
Forgot
came
he
to an
existed.
agreement. But so they're not bound to non-compete clause. More on that soon. But I had some thoughts about all of it. I was telling you I saw some like a compilation of promos from Starks, and I really wish they did more with him. Like just some of his promos are so he's such
really good
charisma.
He does.
And there's that one babyface promo against MJF that is always a standout when you think of Ricky Starks promos. Like he's got just his own. He's kind of like. I feel like he didn't get as much to show, but it's kind of like what I say about Switchblade. He's got his own cadence and style to him. He's got like his own kind of flow and just the way he goes. Like he's great. So
he's clearly like influenced by The Rock, and I know people will be critical.
I think he has his own way though.
He does
for sure, and he's better in the ring for sure.
Yes.
Than Rock was. So
he's just smaller.
I hope he does well in WWE if he goes there, and then shows Tony Khan what he missed out on.
Now I'm seeing stuff that Black's contract did expire. I swear I was reading something that he was there till 2027, and they kind of let him out.
No, I remember when we thought he was retiring, or the other, like not the with Cole, but I think earlier, and then it said his contract was still to the early part of this year.
Right.
I don't know. Then I hope Malachi gets a better run because I think he'll go to WWE as well. I think he's great, and hopefully he can get it done right for once. He could be like their next dark spooky guy since they're always obsessed with that.
They do seem to want one of those guys.
And I'd hope he could reach the World Heavyweight title. But even still, he'd be a good IC champ.
He would.
Just give him his theme song back, and we're good to go.
Yep.
Miro, honestly, I care least about. I think the Redeemer character was cool for a bit, but then it kind of got stale, and he was gone too often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the world of him as a wrestler. I don't think he's bad, but I think WWE always made more sense for him. I don't have that much interest in like.
Listen, he gave us Neck of Sand, so
Neck of Sand is great. I'll always remember him for that. But I think people always like really loved Rusev, especially after Rusev Day, and like I thought it was funny and all, but I never
worn my Rusev Day shirt. That would have been timely.
I never got like on that train, if I'm being honest. So I've never been like the biggest Miro guy. I've least interested in him out of these 3, but I think it's funny because now the match he had against Andrade at World's End in 2023, yes, I put that in on purpose so I could mention that again.
Yes.
That was both of their last AEW matches. And it's funny because Andrade returned to the Rumble like a month after that, whereas Miro now it's been over a year and it's still his last AEW match,
right?
Which I think is kind of funny. But
He's
it's their last match for both
disappeared.
of them. And then following up, Ricky Starks debuted on NXT literally the day after.
He did. It'll be our thumbnail.
It was
sure.
actually crazy. And it said that he went there because NXT Creative, it's kind of more loose because I think a lot of main rosters in lockstep right now because it's Mania season.
Exactly.
So they
what
found
I saw.
it easier to slot him into NXT. And I think that makes sense to just kind of get him used to the environment anyways, right? I think the world we live in with no non-compete clauses is crazy because he's just
there. And we talked about how neither Starks himself nor anyone on commentary made mention of his name, which has fueled speculation that that's his real name and they will not want him.
I'm prepared for it, unfortunately, which sucks because I think he's got a good name. But
right. And then we were talking about how Jordan Grace jokingly, I think, claimed a name off of the list of all the ones that they had trademarked or whatever the process is.
I think she's going to keep her name, though, because she's already used it there.
I don't know why you wouldn't if you can, right? This is how they got famous. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I agree. Like Ethan Page, it just you know what I mean? It just makes sense most of the time.
Yep. Some changes in TNA. They got a new president and executive producer. I didn't make note of names because who cares? But I forget which one of them has tons of experience and won lots of Emmys and stuff like that. They did say doesn't appear to be any changes to the creative side of things, but Josh Matthews and Christy Hemme are gone from whatever.
Christy Hemme's still there?
Whatever their roles were. Yes, some backstage role. And Johnny Bravo, who I told you apparently is really well liked and trusted, has a new role in talent relations.
That's good.
And Gail Kim is staying on as the head of talent relations. So changes executive-wise doesn't seem to be changes creative-wise, but we'll see. And I don't really keep up too much with it anymore anyways. I check in every now and then.
No idea Christy Hemme was there.
I know. I kind of give them a chance to grab me. So I'm like, oh, I want to watch next week. And they don't. So
yeah,
I even check out some of their pay-per-views, but nothing amazing.
Have you seen the recent New Japan title changes?
No, I have not.
Okay. All right.
Oh, boy.
All right. Did you see who beat Sabre for the world title?
Gabe Kidd.
No. That would probably be cooler.
That would have made sense, yeah.
Yep.
Not Umino, is it?
No. You're thinking too new.
Oh, God, no. I'm thinking too new. Evil?
No, not that bad. It's not even bad. It's just no.
All right, I'm tapped.
Godo.
Oh, that's along those lines.
Right.
Wow.
I'm definitely surprised because I thought Sabre would have a longer run as their new top gaijin.
Me too.
Because I think he'd be Naito, and I want to say it was October.
Fine, but
that's what I thought. Goto's fine, but he's kind of interesting. He's definitely tenured, and I saw him hit because he used Nightmare Pendulum before.
Right.
Hammerstone, so he hit that a couple times.
Which is cool. It's very cool move.
His move where he does like over the knee elbow looked kind of nice too. Actually, yeah. He's got like cool finishers at least.
He's not bad.
He's been a while, and now I actually knew this off of memory, because I was trying to think of when he won the G1. It was 2008. I double checked it. I was right.
2008. That's 17 years ago.
I'm just happy I knew that. Too.
Yeah, you did.
Because I watched the recount with Kevin Kelly back when they had a little YouTube series that was interesting to me. I think he deserves on the basis he's like a long-serving veteran, but it also shows how bare the roster is again. Because like he wasn't ever good or interesting enough to be like his thing was he was the choke artist, kind of like Lex Luger in WCW. Like this is him finally getting it all those years later.
Finish the story.
Like he's lost to Nakamura, Okada. Right, like he's just never gotten it. I think he probably lost to Omega or something. He's never been champ when they had the real top guys, so now he gets his chance, which is cute for him. But I can't imagine he reigns long unless there's really no one who can beat him.
They really don't want to like elevate anyone new, it seems, right? Because we've been saying Tsuji.
I think Tsuji, obviously, he has that mid card belt right now.
That match with Umino and whoever was terrible. So
Sabre.
So that to me is like a red flag.
They're kind of stuck right now, and I think that might be partially why like. Because maybe, like, I would have just kept it on Sabre. But let's say they just wanted to get the belt off him for whatever reason.
And again, we're not watching.
Yeah.
We're not keeping up.
This is just from our perspective. But so I would have kept it on Sabre. But let's just say they don't want to for whatever reason. And they want to switch it off him here. Goto, I guess, like, so they went with that. But because you can't go Tsuji, he's got his belt right now. He's focusing on that. I think it's kind of like an Intercontinental-esque thing where it's the title run and he can prep him for, right? Takeshita has a belt there, but he's also not really their guy, even though he's signed for a year.
They wish he was, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's got 3 contracts because he's still on DDT. It's just AEW's his primary one, which is kind of crazy.
Just cashing them checks, our boy.
I hope he's making good money.
Me
Anyways, then Narita, okay.
Not a fan.
Uemura just came back, and I don't think he's really top guy yet.
I like him, but no, he's not.
And then Umino just floundered big time.
He did.
It's time to go back to the drawing board with him. Other than them, like,
I
Who
know.
else is like I saw Bolton Oleg just lost to Takeshita. He doesn't feel
Gabe
top
Kidd,
guy.
man, he impressed the
Gabe
crap out of me.
Kidd could, honestly. But even then, I feel like he needs like because he's only had a run with the open weight title for Strong, which is kind of like a sissy belt. So give him like an actual New Japan belt, and then maybe give him some time. But like honestly, he might be your best bet because Tanahashi's on the way out. Ishii, you can't.
No.
Like
mean, Ishii you could just because he's never had it, I don't think, and
that's
it would be
what we're
like
doing with Goto,
right. It would be like a career achievement type thing. But
that's the thing with Goto, and then like Naito he just had a run and he's kind of into. Speaking of which,
looks rough.
Naito and Takahashi, Mr. Time Bomb, beat the Bucks for the tag titles.
Oh wow!
Apparently the Bucks had a short run because they wanted to establish Naito and Takahashi by beating a legit team, so that's why they drafted in the Bucks.
And I almost feel like from what I've seen recently, Naito's days of like epic singles matches are kind of behind him.
Yeah, 100%.
So putting him in a tag probably makes sense.
And so I guess that's the reason for the Bucks winning titles randomly. But I also thought it would be like then they had a newsworthy title change for that Wrestle Dynasty show no one cared about.
Right.
And also because the champs before them were Hanare and Great Khan.
Yikes. I mean, I feel like I get maybe not to main title, but you could elevate Cobb.
I think Jeppu Kabu would be a great global champion.
I enjoy him.
Yeah, and I think it's funny a demotion for Naito because like he was world champion not long ago. Now he's just.
But his knees are broken, I think, so he's not the man he once was.
Destino.
So I probably will check out Evolve on Tubi when it apparently it's being recorded now.
Wednesday Night Wars are back, baby.
One sort of red flag for me. I was reading that the audience for Tubi or for Evolve on Tubi will be made up of invited guests. So that.
Yeah, now I don't want to watch it. I already didn't want to watch it. But.
So basically, partly to avoid spoilers being leaked, right? Because you can have these people sign whatever NDAs or I don't know, or just trust them, I guess. But if it's gonna give me like underground vibes or
Thunderdome
or COVID time vibes,
that would be more not Thunderdome, but more so when they're in the PC and they had like
just the
Shotzi and Von Wagner and all these people are in there.
So that will annoy me greatly because you're not going to get any organic reaction to anything. You're just going to get they all love everything and react the way they're supposed to react, which I find frustrating. But anyways, I'll probably still check it out because why not? It's free on Tubi. We'll watch that instead of Dynamite, I assume, right?
Yeah, that was my plan.
Replace it. Yeah, I only have a couple other things.
All Japan Pro Wrestling have a former WWE talent in their Champions Carnival, which I think is their G1 or something.
Who?
Big NXT guy.
Big NXT guy. Did I see this? Who's a big NXT guy?
One of our favorites.
One of my favorites? Ethan Page? No.
Former.
Oh, former NXT, one of my favorites. Is that the person still with WWE?
Mm-mm. They got released.
Who did I love in NXT that got released?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Zion Quinn.
Oh, see, I can't tell when you're being sarcastic.
Oh, I purposely tried not to be sarcastic.
Because I'm honestly going, who did I like? Yeah, I love Zion Quinn, obviously. I paid to have a figure made of him since it didn't exist.
It would have been... No.
He never got a figure?
It would have been funny if it was him or Von Wagner.
He had a great look, but my God, he did not seem to pick up any aspect of wrestling.
Oh, yeah. My favorite thing for Wagner is that there was this promo where he said "Come Tuesday" and people isolate that clip, and there's this clip where it's like he says "Come Tuesday" and then they just play generic rock music, and so when he got released, people said he's no more Coming Tuesday, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, Von Wagner, I miss him greatly.
I love Von Wagner.
I'll never forget the Kyle O'Reilly Von Wagner union, right? That was amazing.
That was the last Kyle O'Reilly contribution to NXT.
And what a contribution! If I remember it still years later, you know it was good.
That was when I was still watching 2.0 because I remember them losing to Eichner and Bartel.
Poor Eichner.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Sean Ross Sapp, AEW is aware of the fan criticism with the Death Rider storyline. I don't know how they wouldn't be because it seems to be largely people panning it. So.
I mean, a lot of people will pan AEW anyways, so...
True.
If it's more than usual, then maybe that's noticeable.
And they are aware that it's the idea that Darby is expected by fans to win the title upon his return, and they are saying, or he is saying that they are saying, that that's not set in stone, that it's been discussed.
It should be.
But not decided upon. So I think they're kind of leaving the door open to maybe pull the plug on this, because after this week's Dynamite, not to ruin anything, I'm kind of out, I think.
That's fair.
With it as the main event story. If this were like some
I'm out with
mid-card,
it as Copeland. Just give me someone else. I just don't like it when it's. If it was just White,
I'm not sure what they can do to make me interested in it.
I'm kind of confused as to why the Bang Bang Gang are reuniting and fighting them instead of it being Copeland, because I don't want Copeland.
I know.
And
but
which we're gonna have to deal with for another month at least.
Sounds like Mox has control over it, and I don't think he's making great decisions. As much as we are fans of Moxley, this has not worked for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get there when we talk about Dynamite.
I feel like I want it to be Darby, but I mean the way things are going.
I'm getting to the point where I just want it to be somebody soon.
Not even that. I think the way that things are going, I think it should be Hangman.
And I will talk about that when we talk about Dynamite, because I have the same thoughts written down somewhere.
I feel like Hangman, it's like, I'll talk about it later, but
yeah,
he's the main character. And I feel like if Darby's, one, trying to climb Mount Everest, and two, isn't going to be back for a while.
Right.
Then,
and three, you want to end this because people are getting frustrated, and this is your main event scene and main title.
I would like to see them try to improve it, but honestly, I'd like to start building to Hangman. Like, I want a plan. If it's not going to be Darby, then we need to plan some. If it's Eddie, then plan to build to him.
Yep.
Something like that. Pro Wrestling Noah re-signed Kenta, so I
saw
guess
that.
he's out of New Japan. I mean, I don't think he's been there in a while, but
I wonder how old that fella is.
He was in MLW not too long ago. He was fighting Dijak, I think.
Yes, he is. How old? 43. Okay. That's not ancient by wrestling standards.
He got dealt a bad hand for sure in NXT.
Yes, he did for sure. And then he got hurt badly.
The world's greatest shoulder scar.
Yeah, him and Callis have some pretty impressive scars.
Honestly, yeah, it's probably
Scar Hall of Fame, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the Scar Hall of Fame is the dude we watch on the indies for GCW.
Oh, yeah.
That ended up
Atlas.
champion.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's his name?
Jake Atlas.
No.
No, not Jake Atlas.
John
Atlas.
John Atlas?
Oh, my God.
He has the biggest scars on each of his lats that you will ever see. He's pretty good. And he's the guy that anytime a fan wants to take a picture with them, he picks them up on his shoulder, whether you're like an 8-year-old child or a 300-pound man, he will still try and pick you up and take the picture without. It's funny. Makes me laugh.
Yeah, he seems cool.
Last thing I wanted to talk about, because I inquired how much you had seen and you said not much. So we're going to talk about some 2K25 wrestler ratings. The most recent I saw, I could only find 10 people. So we'll go through those 10. I don't know if you'll find any surprising or not, but care to guess what Dragon Lee's rating is?
81.
Speed too high.
78.
Correct. Very good. Former champion Kofi Kingston.
81.
Exactly. 81. This one, not surprising, but in comparison to some other people, it annoys me. Logan Paul.
91.
90. Very close.
He was 90 last year.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. 88.
86. So Logan Paul considerably better than Rey Mysterio? Maybe.
He also wins.
It's not
more,
prime
it's
Rey.
more high profile, I guess.
No pun intended. It's not prime Rey Mysterio.
Okay, the prime hydration station is in the game, and you can knock it over.
Amazing. Xavier Woods. So you know Kofi's 81.
80.
Yeah, you're right. He's 1 degree worse.
I feel like that's fair. Honestly, that's fair.
Alexa Bliss recently returned.
82.
83.
Oh, that was her one last year, so I think they just pasted it from last year.
2% better than Kofi Kingston?
Just by doing nothing.
5% better than Dragon Lee?
Dragon Lee does lose a lot.
He does. Bianca Belair. This one feels fine.
95.
95 is correct.
I think that's fine. So
this one shocked me. Not shocked me, but it's very low. Candice LeRae.
Not 71.
Yeah, exactly. Io Sky. This one bugs me in relation to somebody.
86, right?
No, I saw 89.
Okay, maybe.
Which means she's worse than Logan Paul, which is outrageous to me because she's amazing. And then the last one I have, so this will be your frame of reference. Io's 89. What's Liv Morgan?
91.
Correct. Very good. You're good at this. Yeah, so I imagine there's more to follow, but that's all the ones I could find now.
It'll be fun if we can get more next week.
I'm sure
out. I'm sure they'll do it each week.
I think so too. They'll release several.
Hyping stuff up. Yeah.
Yep.
WWE, I think, has signed Lance Anoa'i. So another Anoa'i. Hey, he was on Raw in 2019 during Roman's feud with Shane McMahon. So this is a big return.
Just to make sure the Bloodline story never, ever, ever ends.
Yeah,
right?
There's a pic of him shaking hands with Shawn Michaels in front of the NXT stage. So I feel like he's signed. So yeah,
infinite storyline
will never end.
Nope.
I mean, if it's just Fatu, it's fine. But like anybody else, no
Fatu's the shot of adrenaline that group needs for sure.
Fatu's what everyone needs. I was talking to my friend who watches main roster, obviously, and like he's one of those people defending Jay winning the Rumble, and then he's also someone who doesn't get Jacob Fatu, and I'm just like, I'm gonna punch you.
I know.
Like,
I don't like. Do I want Jay winning the Rumble? No. Do I think it's a terrible decision? No, because billions of people love the dude. I mean, we can't stand him.
I think it's a terrible decision depending on how you look at it.
Depends how they handle Chamber and everything else, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not what I would have done, but it doesn't surprise me, and I'm not like super pissed off about it.
Jay's a joke, and he's stale, and he's stupid, and Fatu's like a revelation. He is savage. He's like, his promo style is unique and actually good and coherent and serious. Like, it's just not even close.
I mean, Jay has made it really far, and Gunther pointed it out, right?
Nothing.
Like, he said basically, like, to Jimmy, I think it was on SmackDown. Did you see that?
McIntyre said that, yeah.
Oh, McIntyre. Like, that's the only thing I miss McIntyre. And I won't go to SmackDown to watch him, but yeah, what did he say? Like,
if he could have been that if he had said yeet first. And I
that's
saw someone post
it.
that he said, or he had a yeet hoodie in like 2021.
Yeah. So if he had hit on that a bit more and started wearing the bright stuff, it would be him.
Well, and I was saying this to you. I watched Jimmy's promo from SmackDown. It was way better than Jay. Better. Like, he's actually like making some cool points, and he's got some good flow to him. He's actually cutting a serious promo, and like, even though he made a yeet reference and whatever, it's like one thing because it's his brother, but like, and he's actually making some good promos, and he's just better.
He is better.
And honestly, I think in ring, he's
better.
A little better, at least.
Not amazing, but better.
He has some different dive moves. Like, I feel like he's a little more varied than Jay is. So honestly, I think, I'm not saying Jimmy's like a generational talent or some mega star in the making like Fatu, but I think they picked the wrong brother.
Poor Gunther. He's gonna lose to that guy.
I was showing you though, the match graphic looks sick with the playing cards.
Yeah, it does.
That looks pretty awesome. Then finally, randomly announced was AEW ROH Global Wars. It's basically I don't know why AEW's tagged on there. It's an ROH show.
You told me the card last night. It sounds brutal.
It clearly just like, it's the same day, but it's not like televised anywhere. So it's clearly, for me, it's going to be taped. It'll be aired on like next week's ROH or an upcoming one, because they just taped one on, I was telling you, on the Jericho Cruise. The card is as follows. It's Learning Tree versus Bandito and Outrunners. Moriarty versus Robbie Eagles for the pure title. Athena versus Alex Windsor for the women's title. And Sons of Texas versus MXM Collection for the tag titles.
Weak. Yeah. There is no reason for me to go see that. I love Bandito, but everyone else involved, like the Outrunners, they're getting overexposed for me at this point. Like, they're a fun little.
I thought they're funny, but
they're a fun little thing, but I don't need a ton of them.
Yeah, it's something I knew wouldn't be like legitimate, anyways.
Right. Okay, well, that wraps up news. We'll head into our most in-depth review every week. That is taking a look at, I guess it would have been last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. It's fresh in my mind. It was just last night. Too bad it wasn't better than it was, unfortunately.
I saw the
Not a fan
guy
of
I follow on Instagram loved it.
I
definitely love parts of it.
I was annoyed by a lot of it. I thought it was... anyways, I'll get to my overall thoughts, but I will be complaining about... If you think I'm an AEW mark, I hate to use that word, this would be the one to listen to as evidence that I, in fact, am not. Go ahead.
Hey, that's scary.
Right?
Then we start with Max Caster doing an open challenge. This is like kind of the thing he's been doing since the Acclaim split on Collision. Yep. I think he lost to Roosh, who's back now, so that was cool.
He did. He got killed by Roosh, I think.
Yeah, and
as he should.
I guess it's him doing like the cocky heel thing. He got to quick promo, bragging about running Bowens and Daddy Ass out of AEW. He's gonna prove he was the true mastermind behind the Acclaimed. He's like, the line he said was like, "Who can survive the best wrestler alive?" or something. I thought that was
everybody so far.
Yeah, which I think is kind of the joke. And
is it almost going too far though?
Almost.
Like, is he too delusional?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
Right? Because you've literally not won anything.
I don't really care, because I don't think he has much upward mobility.
And I'm okay for them trying to find like a comedy kind of character, and Caster could work. It's just, he's on the cusp of being too delusional to keep saying you're the best wrestler on the planet and you never win. But anyways.
I think it'd be funny for him to like squash a nobody and say that.
Right.
Like something like that at least.
On Collision.
Hangman comes out to pay off last week, and Caster runs away through the crowd. He hides. Hangman follows him around. We get back to the ring. Middle up Hurricane Run from Caster, and he taunts. That's about all he gets as Hangman comes up from behind, smashes him with a lariat, some corner clotheslines from Hangman, sliding lariat to a seated Caster, and a buckshot lariat for the win. Count him on the lariats. Another squashish loss for Caster. He dropped to Roosh the other week, like I said, and we got Swerve demolishing him before the Acclaim split. I think it was in the build to facing Lashley.
Yeah,
I want to say.
I think so.
Hangman looks like a beast here though, so that's why I'm okay with it. Like the crowd enjoys Caster getting chumped out again, so like I'm okay with it. Like I said, I'm not really sure what the angle is. Like if it's like I'm not sure if it's fine with Caster because I don't think he's gonna end up doing much, so I guess it's fine. But it's just kind of weird to me. But it keeps Angry Hangman rolling, so I'm fine with it. And I don't think Hangman needs to wrestle tonight, but I think it kind of works as then we get him and MJF later.
Yeah, it was a very rare squash to start Dynamite, and I was almost expecting like there's stuff going to happen afterwards, right? And
no,
really
I agree. That's usually
but...
the case when they do. Usually it's either a squash to establish someone, like we'll see with Bane later, or it's to get an angle going.
So I think this was Hangman's angry, but he's also clearly facing a heel as sort of like a primer.
We're definitely
some sort of face turn
and
here,
so
which I'm
I
fine
like
with.
And he's easily my favorite part of the show. We'll talk about it later.
Hey, Harley Cameron, dude, how dare you?
Normally that would be a joke.
It's not.
Normally that would be a joke.
That is straight up for me. That's a fact.
That is fair. Normally that would be a joke.
No, I'm not joking.
No, yeah. I know, and I normally I would be joking too. Then we get a quick Ricochet Swerve vignette. He says he stands a winner like the Eagles, because sports. He says Swerve had all the threats and info, but it doesn't matter when you can't win, and he's moving on to bigger and better things. Swerve talks about going eye for an eye, and Nana's like, why? What are you doing? This? Why you always gotta make it personal? He talks about Mox and the title, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. And I wasn't sure if it was dissension. I don't think it is, but it was kind of interesting. Swerve says he can't because he lost everything when they let Hangman go, which I kind of like. And Ricochet says he'll end this. I'm hoping for like a street fight or something at Revolution. I think them in like a no holds barred thing would be awesome.
But the nerdy Ricochet is still working for
He's
me.
So good. I love him.
And I also liked the idea that Nana's kind of pointing out Swerve's
like voice of reason
downfall is like his tragic flaw, if you will, is like he gets too wrapped up in your personal stuff, where you should be focusing like on accolades and being the top guy and not
getting the title back, because he never went for a rematch, right? Because he went after Hangman,
right? And I agree. I don't think it's dissension. I think that's the relationship they have, where Nana's like trying to be the voice of reason here, and Swerve, like to his own detriment, he can't let things go, and I'm okay if
which is kind of like what Hangman's been doing, right?
If that's his character flaw, I kind of enjoy that.
And then we move to our, I guess, like I would consider the more legitimate opener, even though technically not. We get the Undisputed Kingdom challenging the Death Riders for the Trios Championships. They finally see the light of day.
My note is I literally forgot the Death Riders were Trios champions. Way to keep those titles visible, AEW.
I mean, we have both tag titles being defended on this show, so hopefully we're on the up. I definitely think we could be on the up with the tag titles. Trios titles, I'm less confident, but I'm more hopeful.
Right, and we're told that Undisputed Kingdom... Because I was like, where did this come from?
They have been winning matches.
They won a match on Collision to earn this.
I have been keeping tabs. They beat STP like a few weeks back. I think that was at... No, I think it was before Dailies. I think they beat Garcia and 2.0 at Dailies, and then there was a three-way last week's Collision, which is what they got, and then they made the title challenge.
I like that they let us know, because they can't assume that we're all watching Collision.
I haven't watched it per se, but I obviously keep tabs on it through Instagram, and I can vouch for the fact like they have been running on Collision. It has been a thing that's going. So at least it's not like you're just dusting off Yuka Sakazaki after 1 week.
Without them filling me in, I was kind of like, where's this from? But that's fine.
UK have been going for at least, like, it's been multiple weeks, right? It's not like a 1 week thing. But I love to see the Undisputed Era Boys back again.
Thought they looked good here, too.
I agree. The theme mashup, I think, is stupid, though. I think their new group theme sucks balls.
Didn't even notice.
And then
that's on brand for both of us.
Then they switched to Cole's solo theme, so they still get the boom. Because the group theme doesn't even have a boom.
Wow.
At this day and age, I don't think you're allowed to do an Adam Cole theme without a boom.
Right.
Like,
they have to. The crowd, they got a really good response.
Yeah, I agree. The crowd was really good, especially towards the main event.
They were.
But in general, I thought the crowd was good. I think the group needs a new theme. They obviously had to replace the old one, because literally said The Devil Rising, lest we bring that up again.
Cannot.
But yeah. Glad to see the Trios titles back. I wrote before, hoping UE can breathe new life into the division and liberate the titles.
Isn't it UK?
No. I call him UE still, because it's
And when
better.
I put UK, I'm going to say I'm going to say the wrong thing
That's
anyways.
why I try not to do that,
Yeah.
because it just always messes with my mind. And also, they're always going to be Undisputed Era for me. It's like how I sometimes refer to Buddy Murphy as that still.
I'm pretty sure my notes will refer to Copeland as Copeland and Edge, but not his current name.
Oh, I go Copeland.
Yeah.
It's weird that I find that easier.
Yeah.
Anyways, the brawl breaks out at ringside as the bell rings. There wasn't a lot notable, and then eventually we get a Roddy Strong hot tag flurry, which is pretty much the guy you always want on a hot tag.
That's probably why I have great sequence by Roddy written down.
He hit an X-Plex Yuta onto Pac. He pinned Pac for 2. UK hit a really nice combo to Pac. It was a gut check from Roddy, backstabber from Cole, and a PK from O'Reilly, and Claudio broke the pin at 2. That was nice. Yuta and Claudio hit Roddy with a heart attack for 2. Nice retro stuff there. Death Rider smashed Roddy with like a rapid fire series of corners. Like, they just keep running at him. They were going quick, so I thought that was cool, actually. Cole gets a hot tag flurry, hits an Ushigoroshi for 2, which they always call a neck breaker, which
he got a really good response when he was dominating Yuta. I made a note of, right? Like, he still connects with the crowd, so that's a good sign for him.
In spite of
and them in general.
The worst storyline.
Right.
Cole caught Pac off a springboard with a super kick. O'Reilly hit the KTFO, which is like he hits the axe kick and the rolling elbow. As the rolling elbow hits, it was a super kick and knee from Roddy. That looked awesome. Like, just the timing on that was awesome. Claudio broke the pin at 2 again. Cole super kicked Yuta. Then O'Reilly and Roddy hit total elimination. I like that Cole said, like, the signal for it, he showed sweep the leg. I thought that was kind of funny.
I didn't even notice.
Karate Kid reference. I think that'd be kind of funny. So I thought that was cool. Pac made the save on that one. The finish comes when Claudio trying to bring in a chair. Yuta low blows Kyle O'Reilly and gets a cheap small package to get the win. Death Riders beat them down. Garcia and 2.0 run for the save. The post-match really is not even worth talking about. There's nothing there.
So, started out kind of slowly, right? And brawling, and then I thought it really
picked up.
Transitioned into a very good trios match. The finish was anticlimactic, unfortunately.
100%. I saw people saying that this is like the kind of matches that make AEW special. Like, this division is.
I would say the back half of this,
this was emblematic of.
And
this
the ref lost
great.
Control. Blah blah blah. Don't care. I'll say it a million times. Do not care if it gives me action that I enjoy.
I've sorely missed seeing the Undisputed Era boys all together, because they're great together. And I thought I definitely picked up when they had like some of the combo offense they were hitting was really great.
I kind of almost fell for one of the near falls. I was like, oh, maybe there's a chance.
I thought so.
Just to get it away from Death Riders. If this is a sinking ship, get those trios off on someone else and going in a different direction.
I feel like not only do we need to get rid of the trios titles, but because like Undisputed are proven and established. They're proven to be awesome. And like, that's not to say they can't later on. I would just like to, and because maybe they want to save it for pay-per-view, but I would like to get the titles off Death Riders as soon as possible. And not because I think Death Riders are bad, but because they serve little.
I do.
Not even, but that's irrelevant because
I know.
The trios titles serve little purpose to them. Like, regardless of how you feel about the Death Riders, the world title is the centerpeace of Mox is saying, like, it does matter to this storyline. You take that away. You take the trios titles away, they're not important to this story, right? So regardless of like if the Death Riders are good or bad right now, and like it's been seesawing.
Yeah.
The trios titles are not a factor into that. Like, it was good the other week when Mox was talking about the world title. Guess what? World title's important, trios title's not. It's bad this week. Trios title's not important to that.
And Cole and his group are very believable as a cohesive unit, and
because they have been for so long.
And he can be the mouthpiece, right? So
yeah,
I think they would be great as trios, especially if you put some energy into some sort of story for them too.
Yeah, I think like Mox at least holds the title with reverence and like talks about its importance and everything, but the trios titles are a little afterthought. Like the belts aren't even locked up and they can't even bother to have them on them the whole time.
Which is why like the last half of this match reminds me what I want from this division, right? And why I enjoy it so much. And then the aftermath, you're right, isn't important. And I'm just like, are we to believe that Garcia and 2.0 are some sort of threat to death? Like, I don't know, man.
I think it's teasing that all of Undisputed Era want the TNT title. I was like, why? That belt sucks.
Ship has sailed on Garcia for me.
I agree. I was like, he came out and they keep calling TNT champion. I'm like, why does he still have the belt?
And they were playing really hard, like everybody wants it. So great.
Why?
Get it off him then.
But why?
Because it's a belt.
I would want Takesha's belt. I guess, because it's easier to win Garcia's belt.
I guess. So yeah, the aftermath I didn't really care about, but the match itself I quite enjoyed. I think it was my match of the night, probably.
I agree. I also think, to bag on Garcia more, if you're going to go for a singles title right now, do you want to fight Death Riders? I don't think so.
No.
Do you want to fight Takeshi in the Chaos Tournament? I don't think so. Do you want to fight the greatest tournament wrestler ever? No.
Do you want to fight Garcia? Probably.
Do you want to fight a pretty good technical wrestler?
Yeah. He's going to dance at some point.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Mox and Shafir are backstage. Mox gets hit with the chair from Copeland, and I thought Copeland was gonna like try to like kidnap Shafir or something, but he just shoves her into like a small room near the locker room. They bolt cut the briefcase off and they
Yeah,
run
so
off
they
with it.
close her in the room and have the briefcase on the outside, and then while she's
See,
trapped
I
in
thought
there, snip
White
the
was
chain.
like using bolt cutters to lock her in, which doesn't make sense.
No,
to me,
I was
so
wondering at first
I don't know
too.
why I thought
And I was
that.
like, oh yeah, it's chained to her.
Right. So like I guess it's just them trying to free the title. More on that later. There's really not much to say about this.
I like, is this a babyface thing to do? Assault people and rob them?
I mean,
I don't know, man.
one
Like,
might argue Mox deserves to get robbed.
and White just, I don't know. It just feels weird with him with Copeland at this
Feels
point.
beneath him.
I wasn't a fan of this, but it filled time, I guess.
This is a waste of my boy.
Yeah.
And I do mean that for Moxley and White actually,
Mhm.
not Copeland.
Yep.
Actually, even Shafir, I like her too.
Yeah, she in her role she's in, she's fine.
I would say it's still a big turnaround for her. Anyways, then we get an MJF interview. He says Texas isn't a real state and Dustin isn't a real man. That's honestly, I can't disagree. He says Dustin better pray to the devil and nothing will hide his shame tonight. Hangman barges in and tells him to get out. It's his interview. Hangman asks if he has a crush on him, or MJF asks if Hangman has a crush on him or something. He says he didn't know Jack Daniels had a cologne, and Hangman says that's the best he has after 5 years.
It's kind of funny.
It is, but I like that Hangman's like,
Yeah.
because some people criticize MJF always going the same route. So I like that Hangman's just like, that's all you got.
Yeah.
And so MJF says he looks at Hangman and says he doesn't think this is really him because he doesn't have the stomach for it. He says he's watched Hangman go week after week, questioning all his decisions, losing his friends and his sanity, all because he wants a little apology. He says he's the one that deserves an apology from everybody, and he's going to beat Dustin Rhodes and move closer to winning the title for a second time, which Hangman has failed to do.
Yes, so
I thought this was awesome.
yeah, when it switched, because at first I'm like, more of MJF talents being wasted, and then okay, we're getting that interaction that we want.
Yeah.
He is picking up on Hangman's inner conflict and shining a light on it for all of
I
the
love
people
it.
who aren't quite as aware of it as we are.
And that's
I think
kind of a smart way to make it more transparent too.
yes,
Right?
and he's ripping on somebody other than Jarrett and Dustin, so it's nice to have him back to doing that. And then again, I think the stare of Hangman is that's him processing what MJF is saying, right? Because we always say Hangman's the thoughtful wrestler, right? So he is sort of taking some of this to heart, possibly, or at least leading us to believe he could be. And I think that's effective. So yeah, they are. This is a story I'm interested in. This build towards the inevitable MJF Hangman. And again, if you want to turn Hangman babyface, there's no better guy for him to go against and have a program where they can speak to each other and about each other for a few weeks.
And I mean, all ends in Texas, so
right, that works.
I feel like we stretch out Mox till July, and then boom, hanger.
Texas Death.
I mean, they've done that before with Hangman and Mox, but that doesn't mean you can't do it again.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic, though. It already proves this is far more worth MJF's time. I'm not even going to bother talking about anything with Dustin and Jarrett here. I thought he was amazing here, and I thought Hangman sold it great once again, which is really half the job.
Yep.
I think MJF just perfectly called out exactly what Hangman's been doing. He went insane all because he wanted Swerve to like apologize to him, or he wanted to get even with Swerve, whatever you want to call it, right? And it drove him to insanity and to become the Hangman we've seen over the last year. And I think it perfectly highlights how Hangman lost his way, and maybe even though he's kind of fallen into this madman persona, it's not actually him, and it's obviously the anxious millennial cowboy, as we'll call it.
It's because he feels really deeply, and I think Swerve does too, and that's why their feud is so bitter and whatever, and they can go back to it because
and you
these
can
guys
switch the dynamics.
Aren't good at forgetting things, right? Like they take everything to heart, basically.
I agree. I think that's what makes him such a great complex character too, and I really liked when MJ said that this wasn't real Hangman. He doesn't have the stomach for it. 'Cause you can see it kind of ringing true in Hangman's face, where he's kind of contemplating it, like you said, but also on his face when Daniel said he was retiring a couple weeks back. Like that was also, you can see the turmoil in there.
And like it's like Hangman had the stomach for it with Swerve because Swerve really deserved it and went too far.
Yeah,
but
and
with
now
Daniels,
like,
what did Daniels really do?
Right.
So he's kind of like, you don't really have the stomach.
And I think with Jay White too in that feud, you could also argue he got caught up in it because if you think about it, it just came after the Swerve feud, which, like you said, left him like in crazy angry, crazy, just not thinking straight, just madman. And then White's this guy who's taunting in his face, coming back attacking him because Hangman injured him. and it's this guy that Hangman can never beat clean. So that just further puts him into insanity. So you could argue White kind of like had it coming or something like that. But then, like you said, Daniels, really, what did he do other than try to be nice to Hangman when no one else was going to?
Right. And so you can see that sort of has Hangman second guessing some things.
Right. And so I really love this. It teases the upcoming face turn. I think they just seem to be at their best when they're storytelling with Hangman. I think this is fantastic. Just the slow burn of
and
this.
I like
think
having
it's being
evidence
done perfectly.
As someone who's getting a little down on some of the storylines that yes, they can write good stories, right?
I think this is it's fantastic. I love everything they've done with this, and we'll touch more on it when we circle back around to it later on. Then we get Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata in a squash against Aaron Solo, John Cruz, and Rosario Grillo.
So we get a second trios match and a second squash match in the first
think this
hour.
was the least necessary squash.
Yes.
And if I was gonna,
it was just to have Joe cut a promo, which you could have done without.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, like the only thing I know was hooked in the overhead suplex to Solo. Joe and Shibata were chopping Grillo. We had a muscle buster to Cruz for the win. Joe cut a promo after, like you said. He said they go everywhere and have a misunderstanding. The answer is always violence. They are men who don't understand. They always have a problem. They'll beat your ass to solve it. He says they'll hunt you down wherever, and you will be caught lacking. He says this could have been simple with the patriarchy. They could have taken their ass kicking, but they continue to hide. He basically challenges them to a trios match next week, and also they're the Ops.
Yeah, we talked about I do not like the name being the Ops. Like I get it, they're the antagonist for everybody or whatever, but like I was telling you, if I were to roll around using the term Op, you and your brother would be like, please stop, right? Like please stop saying that. It's like very fellow kids to me. Like we're trying to hook into and so I was saying if Hook were the one using that as a whatever 20 something, it would be a little different than Samoa Joe in his 40s trying to sound like he's young. So I do not like the name. I may end up I'm hoping to at least get indifferent towards it, but right now I don't like it.
I feel like I won't care, yeah.
But Joe sounds good all the time, so
it makes sense because he's obviously the best promo out of the three. Like Hook sucks and Shibata's mostly nonverbal.
Right.
So
he's just a wrestler. I like that though. He's just there to wrestle.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love Shibata though. I think Joe's great though. The group name's iffy, but Joe's great, so he'll make it work for me probably.
Yep.
And I hope the match concludes the feud next week because I don't care.
Fair.
Jericho interview. He calls out Bandito.
And why does he hate Bandito so much? Like he's saying he'd be willing to pay like double or triple whatever the $200,000 that he was already going to pay.
I think it's literally because Bandito is like helping people against Jericho. Like he's attacking Jericho. So it's like I still think Jericho.
Get Bandito away from this, please.
That's not happening.
I know.
He's probably going to win the title, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not really good.
No.
It's ROH. We get a random Willow interview, but she gets cut off because she gets taken out by Shafir. Mox says,
right. That's where that came from.
Copeland is pathetic, and he's a dead man walking. Like, this just was quick again. Like, I don't think this was needed to be here.
I just have Shafir and Mox are mad that the case got stolen. Meh.
Yeah, like, it just doesn't add anything. We could have just skipped to the final segment.
Like, we assumed the group that is always angry about everything is probably really angry that their briefcase got stolen.
Then we get Bandito and Jericho showdown. They both come out, and we get a spotlight and like a Western shootout type thing where you get like this Western like bell type thing, and they're taking steps back. I did think it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's the idea of the duel, right, where they take their steps away and then turn and attack and shoot each other.
I thought it was funny,
sort of thing.
They're about to do the shoot, we'll say. Brian Keith trips Bandito's foot. They beat him down. Outrunners come to take out Jericho and Keith. Big Bill walks down clutching the wanted poster, goes for a chokeslam, but Hobbs music hits, so therefore he can't hit the chokeslam. Big boy brawl and a spinebuster to Bill.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a mishmash of stuff that I don't really care about.
I am interested to see the Hobbs
and Bill a little bit.
And I thought the Western Showdown bit was amusing, but everything else is whatever.
What I really wanted to see was Bandito wrestle, and I didn't get that. So it's kind of a frustrating.
Keith on Collision, so
I guess, yeah.
You can go watch that.
I guess so.
Then we get...
Bless you.
Thank you. Adam Copeland and Jay White in a promo backstage. White talks about Mox having a lighter cargo load and tells him not to worry about the case and worry about bringing his crew to Australia as they have a canvas to paint with the blood of the one true king. I like the way he talks. Copeland makes a Money in the Bank reference because briefcase. He tells Mox to meet him in the ring later. I find Copeland uninteresting, but I love Jay White. I will say that every time because he's my favorite part of this.
It's like they listened to the show last week where I said, I really like this episode because there was hardly any Death Riders and they got it out of the way early and they went, ha ha, screw you. We're peppering it throughout the show and you're going to hate it.
I thought this was fine. I thought the little bits where, like, the one with Willow was stupid because what purpose did that serve? The briefcase spin thing was quick, but at least it was, like, to set up the thing later. But realistically, what did the Willow thing accomplish, right? But anyways, I love White. I think his delivering cadence is just, it always stands out to me, and he's just fun.
I just feel like in this situation, he's the one following Edge's lead, and I don't like
I don't like that. I agree. But I like him.
Me too.
Give him a title match.
The best note ever on the next thing.
Dustin Rhodes interview. Crowd pandering. He's gonna bring the devil. He's the last of his kind. MJF's a bitch. That was great.
Things were said. That was my summary of it.
Yeah, I like.
This is professional stuff you're getting here, folks.
He keeps saying we'll see why he's the last of his kind, why he belongs here, and I don't think I will.
You want to know why he's the last of his kind? Because he's super old and everyone else has retired.
Yeah, he's the last of his kind because everyone else had more sense than him.
Yes.
Other than Jeff Jarrett.
Why. Not to say the match was bad, but we'll get to that.
So, like, not to say my thoughts already, but it's not bad, but it's not great.
I agree.
Because it's Dustin Rhodes in 2025. I saw someone saying it was a great TV match, and I'm like, get out.
A great TV match for a 50-whatever-year-old person.
But not a great TV match.
Correct. Not full stop great TV match.
A great TV match is probably the trios match, honestly.
I would argue there was a great TV match on NXT this week.
Steel Cage?
No. Not the Steel Cage. That was fine. It was fine. That is our brand as well. Remember we were going to get that on shirts? FNS Wrestling Podcast. It's fine, ...
We still need to do that. That would be
or
awesome.
It's ... fine, period, I think.
Yeah. I like that
the way
better.
To do it.
Anyway, scoop slam, some ground and pound from Dustin. MJF mounted punches. Dustin powerbomb. I said I get the feeling this is our main event because I had honestly... It felt like the show was long. I didn't know how many matches were left. Thankfully, it wasn't.
It was not. Nowhere near.
MJF goes for the double cross, which is what they call a crossroads, which I always thought was a funny name for it. Because if you do Cody Rhodes, he would do the crossroads and he would call it the double cross.
And he needs to hit at least two of them.
Because he turned on MJF. That's true. Honestly, that's probably valid. But Dustin Rhodes hits a crossroads for 2 because he only hit the 1.
That's right. You got to hit 6 or 7.
Dustin Rhodes didn't do his big destroyer, so how come people didn't complain about it?
I was shocked.
Isn't that the only redeeming quality about him?
That's what he's got. He could still do a destroyer. Amazing.
I saw someone say, this shows he can still go. No. If MJF stoops to his level, yes. But
he could still go, but not like to a super high level.
MJF fakes knee injuries, and he absolutely sticks Dustin with a pile driver for 2. I thought that looked pretty awesome. Ref distraction. Dustin hits Shattered Dreams and Final Reckoning for a near fall. MJF hits Final Reckoning for 2, locks in Salt of the Earth off the kick out. Dustin gets close to the ropes. MJF drags him back, passes out in a crossface. Then he locks in Salt of the Earth after the match. Hangman comes down, and they stand off face to face. MJF fakes to walk away, takes out Hangman. Brawl starts, pull apart. They go to ringside, and then in the crowd, and then they get separated again.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman gets taken away. MJF grabs a mic. He says he's ready to go, but Hangman sucks, and he's afraid of him. Hangman isn't coming back out because he's a loser like the fans, but here he comes. The brawl resumes, get separated again, and we're done.
Yeah, the match was fine, as we said, but your former world champion and one of the faces of your company can't make Dustin Rhodes tap out in 2025. I don't understand.
He's such a grizzled veteran.
Why that decision was made. What harm is there in Dustin Rhodes giving up? And this shouldn't have been that long or competitive, in my opinion.
I agree.
But in the aftermath, we finally get to see MJF in a program that matters. And if, like I said before, if you want to make Paige a babyface, which I think you do, there's no better opponent for this to happen. And again, elevate Paige fast, pull the plug on Death Riders, make Paige the champion sooner rather than later would be my advice.
Mm-hmm. It was fine. About as good as a match that I'd expect from Dustin, but he just can't hack it with the current crop. MJF did it as good as he usually does, but I think he looks like an idiot bumping around and selling for Dustin's tired old man offense. I think he sells the hell out of it, but I think it's wasted.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't help MJF, right?
No.
We're not trying to elevate Dustin Rhodes here.
No.
So I don't get
it makes zero sense to me. They couldn't even have Dustin tap, like you said. He had to go as a tough veteran because you just gotta keep him looking strong.
For something, for all his ROH belts.
Yeah, he'll probably win the world title from Jericho instead of Bandito. Like, at least MJF won. The post-match I really like, though. We're moving ever so closely to babyface Hangman. I can't wait. I think he's still kind of angry Hangman, but so far it's been like a gradual process. I think it'll continue as such. Dana's words affected him and started to change that. MJF's calling out his behavior over last year. I think he's starting to revert back. And he's going after the biggest scumbag. So, like you said, it's perfect. And I think he'll find his roots in cowboy shit again. AEW was at their best when Hangman was the story, and I think that they do some of their best work with him. I really enjoyed the slow burn so far, and things are starting to escalate in the right way, I think.
I agree.
And I'm perfectly happy to see it play out as they plan, because I think so far it's going great. He deserves to be the main character, and Mox best to be ready, because I think Hangman... I mean, as much as I'd like Darby to finally get his moment, I think there's really no one better to do it than Hangman.
I'm a little bit of Darby out of sight, out of mind right now.
Yeah, which
I'm prone to, but...
Well, it's because I didn't want him out, but I wanted him to do the Sting thing.
Yeah.
Which they're not doing.
No. They could on the way back in, I guess. But at this point, we've seen what Death Riders is bringing us. I don't want to wait through a lengthy Darby in the rafters, blah, blah, blah. I need this to be...
I want them to start beating up random people again. They're not going
Or having a reason for things would be cool. But
more of the close-ups, because that was good.
It was.
Then we get Grand Slam Pipe Package. Historic greatest tag match ever. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they announced MJF and Hangman face-to-face next week. That's going to be awesome.
That should be good.
That's going to be great. Depending on how that goes, we could see babyface Hangman back in true form. I'm excited because I could see MJF being an absolute dickbag, and then Hangman,
I would assume so.
Reverts back, and at Revolution, we get his old theme back, and just...
And MJF seems to be he's not doing stuff that the fans are cheering either, because the fans love Hangman. So it's also good for MJF, because you know how sometimes and we do it too, we enjoy the insults and stuff, right? But against Hangman, you're like, no, that's not nice. That's not cool,
Hangman's
MJF.
My boy. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. That should be an awesome segment, I think. Then we get Megan Bayne versus Jobber. I'm just glad Dustin is the main event.
Squash match number 3.
This one I think is
3
purposeful
squash matches on Dynamite.
Because we need to establish Bayne. I said, I would have gotten rid of the Joe one, 100%.
Correct. Just let him have a promo.
Yeah, I agree. I said Bayne's like Camila. She was good, and I thought she was cool.
Yeah.
A couple of overhead belly-to-bellies from Bayne. Nice flying clothesline, and she won with an F5. Solid squash. It sucks it's the third on the show, but I think this one makes sense because we need to establish her for a new audience, myself included. We really haven't seen much of her.
Nope.
But I think she's really cool.
She continues to impress me.
She's the kind of hoss this division needs.
It is.
Because I think Statlander's great, but she's kind of taller, but not. She doesn't feel super hoss to me. I love her. It's just I feel like Bayne is more of a powerhouse.
And it's the overall athleticism.
I think Statlander's more of an all-rounder. Yeah.
And Bayne, it's more like she's
a
powerhouse.
Yeah. It's literally just been the Casino Gauntlet and the interaction here, but because Statlander comes up for her match after. But I'm already way more invested in this than I ever was Statlander and Camille.
Same. I find it strange that the choice for her first big feud is with another powerhouse.
I'm okay with that.
I would have maybe chosen somebody smaller that she can look.
She did attack Thunder Rosa on Collision, so I don't know which feud she's going with first.
But I'm glad they seem to understand that they should do something with her.
Agreed.
And any women's storyline outside of titles, I'm happy about, because sometimes they struggle with that. Yeah. So I'm hopeful, because I think she's cool too.
And so we roll right into Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford. 2 women's matches is cool, but it'd be nice if they were more worthwhile. And I get the feeling this is our main event. It's not.
No, it's not.
Basement layer from Statlander for a 1 count. Statlander rolled through a sunset flip and hit a basement dropkick for 2. Delayed vertical suplex as well. A boot in the corner and a neck breaker from Ford gets a 2 count. She does the Matrix dodge and a stunner. She went for a springboard, but Statlander caught her and hit a German suplex for 2. Decent poison Rana from Ford, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
And then the finish game of Statlander connected with the Lariat and the Wednesday Night Fever for the win. Megan Bayne now comes back out. Ford, I think she shoves Statlander out of the ring or something. And Bayne grabs Statlander for an F5 on the floor, and she stands over Statlander.
Yes, so establishing her as a heel, right? For sure.
That's good.
Which I kind of needed. This match, it was pretty good, but again...
I thought it was fine. I just never...
Why so competitive and long?
I never find Ford interesting.
The difference between Stat and Ford in their presentation, what are you building Ford for right now? Why isn't Stat killing her in 5 minutes? To show, we just had a squash match by Bayne, And then Statlander should dispose of Ford pretty quickly. Ford can get a couple little flurries in where Statlander looks really impressive too. Instead of she had a long competitive match with a woman who does nothing ever. No offense, I don't dislike Penelope Ford, but they don't have plans for her. No. So I don't understand, kind of like the Dustin, you're protecting her and showcasing her for what?
I mean, I'm not trying to defend this or anything. I would rather you protect Penelope than Dustin.
Agree.
Let me get that out of the way.
I agree.
I think your point's valid.
So fine match, kind of pointless away. The F5 on the floor, I think, is a good way to get heat on Bane. We're now okay, now we know we're supposed to dislike her.
You kind of could have. I mean, she did also attack Rose on Collision, but we don't do that. So
that's correct. Program with Statlander should be good.
I agree.
The only issue is neither woman really talks at this point. So how are they going to develop
Bane,
things?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Statlander always looks good, and she's just lacking that key character. I keep saying it, but I'm a really big fan of her.
Me too.
That's why I always harp on the character, because she's just that.
She is
close from
she
being
needs nothing else in ring or anything. She just needs some character.
I honestly think she's on par with Mariah May in ring. So I think Statlander's great in ring. It's just May has her character locked down.
Yes.
Right? That's why she's such a complete package, is because she's awesome in the ring and she's awesome on the mic. Statlander, I'm not saying she's a bad promo, but she needs some more character to her, and it's just she's on the cusp of being generational, I think, because I think she's awesome.
She's great.
But it's right there.
I know.
But Bane versus Statlander, I think, is going to kick all the ass. Hopefully, it'll establish Bane as a major player, because I think she's really cool, and I'm all for bolstering the women's division, 100%. Yep. And as we'll see soon, we have different levels, right?
Yep.
I hope Statlander can move up the card after this, but again, I think it'll be sick. Then we move to Harley Cameron. We get the puppet lip syncing the CEO, and then it goes into a rap that was pretty insane.
Jeez.
I'll talk about it after.
I'm actually opening my best of right now.
I agree. She cuts a promo after, seriously, and she says Monet is great, but she had to start somewhere. She says Harley used to not be able to wrestle or sing, or I guess do ventriloquism or speak Japanese, and she speaks some Japanese, I think it was. She thanks Monet for bringing women's wrestling up because it gives losers like her a chance, and she says feel the wrath because that's her thing. I'm gonna say this may be one of the greatest turnarounds since the Guns.
Amazing.
Because we used to hate the Guns.
She was amazing here.
I thought this was when she started doing the rap, because I thought
she's good. She's good at everything.
She did the puppet thing. I was like, okay, that's fine. But then she did the started rapping, and I was just slackjaw. I was turning you. I was just like, what?
And
because she's done that kind of thing before, but I thought this was just I don't even know.
And they incorporated it brilliantly into what she's saying.
I thought her promo was actually good.
It's her acknowledging, hey, I'm not awesome in the ring, and we would agree, but guess what? I used to not be awesome at playing the guitar or ventriloquism or rapping, and I've learned all of those things really quickly, and I'm really good at all of it.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm going to pick this up too, and I'm going to be really good. And I'm just like, yes, this was fantastic.
Because that's what I've been saying. I think the one fault of her is her in-ring work. And that's okay, because that can improve.
She's acknowledging it, right?
I like that because... And I think comparing it to all these skills that she seemingly has is a genius move. I thought the rap was crazy.
Captivated by
it caught me off guard. I was genuinely
she's great.
Taken aback because I thought it was awesome, and I've definitely been harsh on her because I think honestly last year I thought she was horrible. So she's been horrible.
She has a spot in the company, I think, for as long as she wants. And if she can develop as a wrestler as much as she does in these other areas, you really, really have something.
I think so. I think she's crazy multi-talented. That's an insane rarity. And I hope she gets in-ring stuff because then her staying power is incredible. I think she's already an asset based on a character and just entertainment value. But if she can learn to go in a match, then she's got everything.
And I love the self-awareness of, I'm not great, but I became great at a lot of things in life, and why would this be any different?
I like that.
Right?
I don't know if she wins the title yet.
No.
But I think we can get there.
And this will come up in our year-end 2025.
I thought this was genuinely astonishing.
And this is coming from a place of I've been open to her, and you've been not so much.
I hated her.
But this was fantastic television.
I think their approach with her is another feather in their cap recently. The Hangman stuff's been great. I think some of the things they've been doing have been great, and this is kind of becoming one of those.
Yep, she's terrific.
This was crazy, yeah.
Yep.
Then we get the Guns versus the Hurt Syndicate for the World Tag Titles, and this is the main event I kept forgetting about.
It is.
The Bang Bang Gang have the best theme around. It's not even close. I love it. I mean, Hurt Syndicate's theme is awesome too. But
I liked that the dueling chants broke out because I think that's good for the Guns, right?
Absolutely.
Because it was the Hurt people Guns up going back and forth.
It kind of got there.
I think that's a compliment to the Guns and the fact that they're kind of over, which is good.
I do like the Guns.
There's another group we couldn't stand that we came around on because they improved.
Absolutely.
Like people get better, we'll be happy with you.
I hope after this, because I think it's a one-off, I hope they join. Like my vision is we just suffer through Copeland versus Moxley for the next month. We deal with Raid F terrifying the Death Riders because we're gonna have to. We'll be mature about it. We'll take it. We'll move on.
I might not.
And then for Dynasty, which I think is
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
If you could say World Send, I can say Dynasty every time.
That's fair. And Zaria. But anyways, I think for Dynasty we get White versus Moxley. We build to that, and we can have the Guns join in on that.
Yep.
Like I think that gives the Guns some time to do their own thing, which because I'm like it's kind of like when Blackpool were running. They don't always have to be doing their things
when's
together.
Juice back?
I don't know because I don't know how bad his injuries. I would love for him to come back because then we could do 8-man tags.
We could.
But yeah, I would like to see Bang Bang Gang up against Death Riders after we have to slog through Copeland doing things that he does.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they give Copeland and Moxley stipulation because like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have much interest in Copeland in like standard
in a straight up match. Me either.
With Moxley, yeah.
It won't be bad.
Like Moxley's good, but I want someone with more of an interesting style. Like I think like White would be fun. But
so this is stomping on my stuff I was gonna say after the end segment. But so part of my problem is I don't like the story they're telling. And it's not even a case of, but the match should be great at least.
I agree.
Right? So now I'm really down on it because I'm like, I don't even really care about
That's
match.
the thing for me. Because, like, if we're building the Switchblade Moxley, I'm holding out for that.
Right.
That's what I was saying with the 4 weeks. I thought the 4 would be great. It did underdeliver, but that was the thought process going in, right? That's
Correct.
the point. With this, I don't care.
I agree.
It just doesn't matter. Like, I was more interested when we were building a week later to Hobbs and Mox, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways. Lashley tries to pass him Austin. He hangs onto the top rope. So Lashley like dumps him outside. He kind of hit hard on the apron on the way down.
He did catch. I thought I was worried about his shoulder or something.
I agree. Yeah. Big back body drop from Shelton to Austin. Colton's got some good energy off a hot tag flurry. He counters the German and rolls Shelton and O'Connor roll for 2. Shelton kicks out and gets an ankle lock.
Didn't super connect on the hot tag. Like the energy was good, but some of the stuff was like glancing.
That's fair. Austin hits a famous to Shelton. Colton covers him for 2. Guns try to go for 310 to Yuma, which I wish they'd hit because I think it looks cool. But Lashley takes out Colton. Shelton decks Austin with a super kick. Shelton chucks around both Guns with German suplexes. Spinebuster to Colton from Lashley. Shelton with a step-up knee in the corner to Austin and a spear from Lashley for the win. And then Murder Machines come out on the stage to kind of tease a future match.
A big Haas tag match for sure. So you commented in the match, did the Guns out, or did they get more in than Private Party?
I would say they look better.
I think so too. Which is kind of strange, but
diss to the Guns. I do think it's strange.
Like the matches are never amazing, but I think they're the way they should be, where they Hurt Syndicate mostly dominate, right, and win pretty cleanly, pretty quickly.
And I think with a more established team, we can get a really good match. It's just,
that's what I'm saying. You're establishing these titles, right? These are really hard to get off of these guys because they're freaking amazing and they're just going to kill you. And I'm fine with that. The crowd's fine with that. It's not leading to like any 4.5-star matches yet, but if you build a team properly, you could, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I was totally fine with this.
Mm-hmm. It was good. It was about what I expected. The Guns were never going to win this, but I thought they looked pretty good for the first match back, and as expected, they made this Syndicate look strong because they're great bump machines, those guys.
Yeah.
I feel like the Guns got a stronger showing than Private Party did, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Which is no diss to the Guns, but Private Party were just tag champs, so you'd think it would at least be an even.
Just elevated to tag champs, right?
Right. But anyways, it was a solid match. Maybe not a main event, but I thought it was a good match. I would have preferred just match quality, the Trios match main event, but you know, it is what it is. I think honestly that would have made more sense maybe because then the aftermath of that could have rolled into the main event segment instead of having Garcia and company come out for no reason. Right. Hurt Syndicate I think could possibly be tweeners since they're so over and we're teasing match with heels.
Yeah, and they're just good. They just hurt people, right? It doesn't matter who it is. And it makes sense.
You could kind of have them in a Braun Breaker role, which I think might make sense.
Yep.
Then
You
we
wore
get
a cowboy hat this week on Raw.
I saw that. Mariah May cuts a quick promo. She says Storm doesn't know when to stop. I agree, or maybe more so AEW Creative doesn't. She says she could let Storm beat her and disappear, but then people realize she did it better, and she got super fired up. I thought it was awesome. She says Storm is just the imagination of a sick and pathetic woman. We got cut off by ads for some reason.
We did, but so
I still think it was fantastic.
I liked it too, and I was hoping
like how like emotional she got was like, and I still think she shouldn't care about Storm, but I like that it's like, but I
That's
do
what I
kind
was
of
gonna
like how
say,
she's
too.
playing it though.
Okay, that's funny because I was just about to say I was saying that I would prefer like she's not sweating Tony Storm and it doesn't bother her, but now it's like because we feel this way too. She's so annoyed by this stupid gimmick getting so much attention that it's bugging her.
I agree.
Right?
That's fair.
This is like you're doing all of this pretending and whatever, and people love it, and it's
people are treating you as like the greatest thing.
And here I am, legitimately awesome, and you're paying attention to her, and it's pissing me off.
I agree. I like that because
And
that
I'm okay
makes
with
sense
it.
to me.
Yes. So I'm okay with this too. I thought she was great.
Like
again.
she often does. She's great and she saves it.
Yeah, she does.
And she's right. She does do it better.
And that's basically my first thing is she's not wrong, and she's as done with Timeless Tony as we are.
She's basically me. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. And I do feel like her because we're in the minority. I think. 100%.
Yeah, it's like I'm awesome in every way. I'm the champion. I keep winning, and all you want is her.
And she's like a real person.
Stupid gimmick. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's so, and it's not a title thing, because at least Moxley's serious.
Yeah.
Like it's. Ugh.
I really hope she retains, that being Mariah May.
I will cry if she loses.
I will be disappointed.
I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers. Which
yes.
It would be crazy to be off Instagram for like a day, but
Oof, do it.
I
probably
will.
I'll do it too.
All right, buddy. That's not even funny. I will do it. I will only do it because of that tag match. Like if that tag match wasn't there, I would watch it with spoilers.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. But it's like I'll talk about it later. But I haven't been this excited for a match since Ospreay Fletcher, and that didn't disappoint me.
It did not. That was a great match.
That was my favorite match of the year.
It was.
Anyways, Copeland and Switchblade. Next.
Yeah.
Copeland says the AEW title has been hidden in the briefcase, and so you made a good point. This never ended up happening. It could still happen, but I doubt it. Anyways,
I made a good point. I'm like, what point did I make that was good? Let's get there.
They said we're told the title's in there.
They were choosing their words very carefully.
So we could have revealed that the title's not in there. But then now, if the title's not in there, Mox is an idiot.
Okay.
Because isn't the whole thing that I should say this after, but it's too late.
The floodgates are open.
Yeah. He's giving Copeland the title match because he wants to save the belt, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of how, like, him saying
But
he's
Mox
the belt.
is the belt.
Regardless, he's doing it to save the belt.
Yeah.
If the belt's not in there and he's just doing this to keep up a facade, that's stupid.
Yeah. I don't love any direction this is going.
But, like, because I thought your idea made sense. I thought that'd be a cool reveal. And it's like, and then Mox could like say something about how he's always steps ahead, and like that would have been cool.
Or that he's lying about being the belt, and that really the belt's so important to him that he won't even have it in the case, like something.
That too. But like then he would look stupid if he's like trying to save this briefcase that's empty.
Right.
Also, I think Copeland's plan to open it was stupid.
Yes.
Because Copeland
You're just gonna wedge it shutter, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I was gonna say we hit up Terry Funk for a chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes on there and grabs Spike, and he says he's gonna bash it open if Mox doesn't come out. Mox accepts the challenge. He says Copeland doesn't know jack about what the title represents. He's the protector. He'll break his neck at Revolution. Please.
Again, it's a change. You went from being the title to the protector of the title within like a week. Like, make up your freaking minds. Anyways.
Copeland says he'll show how much he cares by trying to break the title?
Smashing it and hoping the thing pops open.
That didn't make sense to me.
No.
You tries to halt him like he took a Blade Runner right away. White brawls with Claudio. Shafir grabs the briefcase while Mox and Pac fight Copeland. Pac takes a spear because why would you ever preserve Pac for any reason whatsoever?
Right.
Claudio takes a Blade Runner. Mox has Spike. Takes a spear from Copeland. White says they'll put Death Riders in the ground in Australia.
You have the forethought to bring the lock cutting device to get the briefcase, but then your best idea to open it is to smash it with the board with nails in it.
I think Copeland looks like the biggest idiot here. This was fine, but essentially boiled down to I steal your thing, give me a title match.
Right.
Which I was saying
at the end of the day.
Ironically, the only time I really liked that was Jay White with MJF.
And and working better. They're doing it better with Ricochet and the Robe right now too.
I agree.
So this is just a lame main event program.
I don't care about Adam Copeland.
They can do all of this. None of this interests me. And again, it's not a case of, but the match will be great. So it's a dud main event story for me.
It's kind of like when like Swerve was building to a feud to Christian. It was like, I'm not really looking forward to the match.
They need to do something fast. I am a patient man, but I'm starting to fully turn on this whole concept. And again, just too large a role this week. It's going to hurt their overall grade for me.
I want this feud to be over so White can get his due. I don't even need him to win the title yet. I just want him to have
get away from this, for starters.
I just want him to get away from Copeland. I want him to go for the title. I just don't want him to do it with Copeland.
I just don't. Anything that's in the Death Riders orbit, I'm not sure I'm going to be interested in, even if it's someone I like. That's the problem.
I always have time for Jay White.
So overall, obviously not much I liked about this. I thought the Undisputed Kingdom Death Riders match was really good. The Hurt Syndicate retaining their titles was fine. It makes sense. Not that it's a barn burner of a match, but I think it's what you need to do. Emergence of MJF Hangman, awesome. Highlight. Harley Cameron,
awesome.
Fantastic. Like year-wide highlight, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But way too much Death Riders, 3 squash matches, a bunch of Dustin Rhodes, a bunch of Chris Jericho. This was a C-. This is one of my least favorite episodes in recent memory for me. Like, there were a couple little nuggets of gold and then a whole bunch of nothing else. So I'm pretty harsh. I'm sure you'll be a little bit higher, but I did not enjoy this.
So I agree. I really love the trios match. We need more of that, please.
Yeah.
More Undisputed Era, please. I actually liked Joe's promo. I would like to see more of them doing stuff.
That too.
Just
I
not
that.
with Christian.
Right. That's fair.
So hopefully that's over after next week's match. Hopefully that match is good. Because I think Sabian's good in the ring. I think Nick Wayne's good. Christian's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Could be good. I just hope it's over after that. I thought everything with Hangman and MJF was awesome. I love Hangman so much. He's one of my favorites just ever. So I hope this storyline pans out. I'm really excited for that segment next week. So that's also looking up, I think. I thought the tag time match was honestly pretty good too. Like it served its exact purpose.
It's what it needed to be.
So I like that. And the crowd was really into it, which honestly I think helped.
Yep.
I thought Bane's squash was good, and I'm really excited for that match. The Ford Stylander, even though it shouldn't have been that competitive, was honestly fine and one of Ford's better.
It was good.
Dustin MJF, not great. I did not care.
Yes.
Death Rider stuff. I kind of like the promo that Switch and Copeland had backstage, mostly because I like Switch. But the main event segment I thought was kind of dumb for multiple reasons. Harley Cameron, obviously,
amazing,
fantastic. And then I thought like MJF talking with Dustin, anything with Dustin, with Jericho was bad. So I'm gonna give it a C+.
I thought you might. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. You pointed out a couple other things that were pretty good that I did not. Okay, so we'll wrap that up. We'll move into trivia, where I think it's my turn to do some trivia this week. Again, to switch it up, we call it Off the Top of His Head. I've got a fresh coffee in my pickleball mug. I've got my headphones on. I'm ready to...
Sounds weird, but I can hear it.
I know, right? Headphones. So you can... This is your volume control if you want to do anything with it.
I think
all right, so what are we doing today?
So I got more theme songs, part 4. I think I got 12.
12, okay. I like that.
Yeah, and I did pick I tried to keep it from around when I started watching.
Do I get options again?
Yeah.
Should I keep track?
Yeah. There's one without options because it'll be so painfully obvious that if you needed options, I would actually murder you.
I think you're overestimating my abilities, but
no, there is this
we can try.
There's no way you don't know.
So you think
if you didn't, 12. It would be sad. Okay. Ready to go?
I am ready to go.
Okay. All right. Numero uno.
Well, hold on. I need to do one thing.
Okay. All right.
I should have checked this out. Just pause for 1 second.
Unprofessional.
Right. Hold on.
So.
That's going to be tough for me in editing, probably, but I got time. So let's, all right, I'm ready now, officially.
Okay, all right, number 1, here we go.
We go hard, all day, all night. On my proud son of people who be ready to fight. Say yeah.
I know it.
You should know.
I know it.
I can play a bit again if you need it. I'll do that if you don't want to go options.
I'll go options.
Okay. Heavy Machinery, Revival, OC, or Briggs and Jensen.
Oh, hold on. So Heavy Machinery, Revival,
OC, and Briggs and Jensen.
It's Revival, isn't it?
It is.
It is. I should have known that off the hop. I get a halfer.
Yeah. That's a classic one.
Okay, I should have
Love that
known.
one. Yeah, I know.
Big Revival fan here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 2. There we go. Oh, right before the beat drop. That's funny.
I should know this one too.
I mean, you can let the beat drop go. I'm just trying to. Not sure
Okay, let the beat drop.
how much we can go.
Asuka.
Yeah.
Asuka.
Yeah.
It's my girl.
It's a lot easier once that.
So far, we get copyright. Like, yes, you violated. Like, there's copyright, but no, the holders don't care. Is what we've gotten so far.
we're good then.
What are they going to do? Demonetize us from the zero
That's
money
true.
we get?
That's true. That's also the difference. I feel like.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Number
Next.
3. Okay, so what you're at 1.5 at a.
Correct.
2? Okay, that's not bad.
I'm on top, saving my peak, and everything they said was out of my reach. It's so close now, lit it off for the hometown. Time all year we ain't seen the boat, man.
I love that one.
I should know that too.
I was playing in the car recently. I think.
I need options.
Usos, Enzo and Cass, Hype Bros, or the Colognes.
Ooh. Sorry, say that again.
Usos, Enzo and Cass, Hype Bros, like Raleigh and Ryder, or the Colognes. Like Carlito's peeps.
I'm guessing on this one.
All right.
I'll go. Could it be? Is it Usos?
It is Usos.
Yes.
It's their babyface theme.
Okay. I
Back
thought
when they were
so.
face painted.
I thought it was going to be a women. In my mind, it was a women's theme.
Really? All
Yeah.
right. That one's one of my favorites. I love that one.
As long as I get 50%, I'm pretty happy
Okay.
about this.
What
Number
are we
4.
sitting at right now? What are you sitting at?
I'm at
Would be
2 out of 3.
2 or 3. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah. All right. Number 4.
Make it move, make it move, make it $1 million move, make it move, make it move, make it $1 million move, make it move, make it move, make it $1 million.
I'm gonna know, but I need
I
options.
love that one. Apollo Crews, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, Rich Swann.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know if the race would give it away, so I purposely didn't do that.
You WWE'd it?
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, options are who? I'm leaning towards 1.
Apollo, Darren Young, Titus, Rich Swann.
I'll go Titus.
It is Titus.
Yes, I was gonna say, is it Primetime Players?
It is Primetime Players or Titus, but I went with Titus.
I thought they left some money on the table with those guys. I thought
love
they
that
were a
theme
decent
song.
team.
That's one of my favorite theme songs.
It's Black John Cena, man. He
Yeah.
looks just like him.
It's so weird.
It is weird.
It's just the beard that like makes it look different, though. If he was clean shaven.
Remember, we could have had him on the show.
That's true. I remember that. Yeah.
That was
Fred
crazy.
Rosser.
Back in
Okay,
the day.
this one you don't have options because if you don't get it,
Okay,
I'd be
let's go.
concerned. Can you get it off of that?
No.
No? Okay.
No,
I'm just
hell
saying.
no.
What about now?
No. Okay. Yep. That is Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I told you that would be too easy.
Yeah, got it.
That'd be funny.
That was another gimmick they left money on
Absolutely.
the table.
Because now he's a producer, like little poo. Oop. I didn't mean to play it yet. No. Okay, number whatever. 6. There we go. I'm smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I almost want to guess without options, but
Go for it.
I
I'd love
don't
to see
think
it.
that's a good. I don't think that's a good strategy for someone trying to pass.
I mean, I think it'd be funny.
I'll take options.
All right. Adam Rose, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas.
Adam Rose.
Nope. Heath Slater.
Damn it! My guess was gonna be Brian Kendrick,
Oh.
just off the top.
Wait, here's the next part that would have given it away.
Oh yeah, 3-man band. I was honestly kind of.
It's weird
it was Adam
because
Rose.
the opening of his theme, they edit in the 1-man band bit, but then they kept the theme the same. So it still says 3-man band,
Damn
even
it.
as solo version.
It's my first 0.
Got him. All right. Next one. This is a classic. Kinda.
Would this be relevant to a moment in our life recently at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, so that eliminates my first guess.
Can I ask what that guess would have even been?
Yeah, I thought, was this Nikki Bella? Because the
No,
dude was
it's
dancing
not. It's
at the
not.
thing.
Okay,
I
that
was
makes
just
sense.
picturing
Okay.
her like,
That's actually fair.
And
It
to
is
watch
not
a
related to Nikki Bella at all.
grown man
No.
who is in very bad shape get up and do that
Honestly,
in a
I didn't
public
even think
setting.
about that, but that's a good
Okay, so I'll take my options.
connection. Okay, Iconics, Vanessa Bourne, remember her? Carmella or Eva Marie?
Isn't it Iconics?
It is Iconics. Yeah.
Okay. Another tag team that I thought was really cool.
Yeah. That's
Maybe not in
that's
ring,
the theme. That's the theme of this. Is
seems to be.
wasted potential.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Kind of is. Go ahead. Number 8, I think.
Number 8, you were correct.
You know it's been a minute, boy, I've been inside. Yeah, I swear on it all, I'm gonna get it. I'ma go hard,
I should know this.
I love
Options.
Cedric Alexander, TJP, Mustafa Ali, or Tony Nese.
Oof.
Going 205 live. That was.
Sorry, options again. Who is it?
Cedric, TJP, Ali, or Tony Nese. Them cruiserweights.
Wow. I'm going to
I
say
purposely tried to make it difficult. on
those
this
are
one.
all very good
Right?
options to take.
Right? I thought some of the times the options are hard to think of. And
I'll
sometimes I
go
get 'em.
Cedric.
Nope, Ali.
Damn it. I wasn't leaning
I thought
towards him.
Cedric would be the one that would maybe be the best.
Yes,
Red herring.
You got me.
I was proud of that one. Let's go. Okay. Number 9, I believe.
Mhm.
The Nueve.
I think so. Yeah.
That one's awesome.
I need options. That's not ringing any major bells.
American Alpha, Roddy Strong, TM61, or No Way Jose.
I don't think that's No Way
Teams.
Jose.
You don't or you do?
I don't.
Okay. I was just making sure that's not your guess.
So sorry, Alpha.
Yeah, Roddy or TM61 if you're confident about No Way Jose.
I will say
Mhm.
I'm torn between 2.
All right.
I'll take TM61.
Nope, American Alpha.
Damn it, that's who I thought it was, and then I thought no, because you like TM61, so you're gonna
I do
sneak
like
that in
TM61.
there.
I would have accepted Chad Gable
Damn,
because
I
he
should-
used it solo for a
I
while.
went
but-
against my instincts, and it cost me. All right.
Gotcha. All right, number 10.
Oh,
Pause it there for
I
now.
kind of want to guess, but I'm not
Okay.
going to because. Did you already mention this person?
It's
in there?
possible.
Is that TJP?
It is TJP.
Hey, that's a deep pull.
It is TJP.
Because I remember him being a video game dude.
And dabbing?
Oh yeah, listen. Even if I don't pass, the fact that I pulled TJP's theme out is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself right now. All right,
Penultimate,
penultimate, I think.
Yeah, number 11.
I'm a man with a plan. So listen up, now the general masses, you ain't gonna know that it
Very Kid Rocky.
Mhm.
I should know. Man, I need options.
All
Damn
right. Mike Kanellis, a.k.a. Mike Bennett.
it. No,
Austin Aries, Brian Kendrick, Kurt Hawkins.
Kendrick.
It is Kendrick, which I thought was funny that you mentioned him earlier.
I knew I would know it.
I love that one. That one's a good one. I think it's an actual song by Chappelle of Rock.
Sounds
maybe
very
it's-
Kid Rock vibes.
Maybe it's Kid Rock's
Alter ego.
Chappelle.
It's him undercover.
Yeah.
Last one.
Last one. Here we go. I have a
Not-
later point to start if you want.
Options not giving me any.
Gals and Anderson, TM61, Hype Bros. Oh wait, or Social Outcasts. There we go. That
Who
makes
were
more sense.
social outcasts? Who was that? Was that-
Slater,
Right.
Rose, Axel, Dallas.
I'll go TM61 again.
Social Outcasts.
Damn it. All right, well, let's tally it up. So
Yeah,
there's
surprising
1.5,
banger
2,
theme.
2.5, 3.5, 4, 5, 5.5. I failed
Ah,
by
Got
half
him.
a mark
oh yeah.
out of
You're
12.
just slightly off the mark.
But
there.
listen, I'll take solace in knowing TJP just out of the blue, because that was amazing.
You can't
I am
take
the
pride
greatest.
knowing TJP. There's
All
the
right.
feather in your cap.
So good job. That's fun. I enjoy doing that. So we'll switch back into talking about some more wrestling, anything we thought was notable from the week, and we call that Highspots and Restholds. All right, I was telling you I'm going to try and go quickly through this, and I said, all right, my God.
Woo.
Because I got to take your brother somewhere in a little while, so we'll try and get through it, and it seemed apparently I've forgotten the password to my computer, but now I'm in. Okay, so looking at Raw. Again, we get 7 minutes of Jey Uso entrance, because now we're getting into this trend where he asked them to play his theme again because everyone loves it so
Even my
much.
friend was getting annoyed by that, and I was like, yeah.
And then Gunther saves us by attacking Jey as he does his nonsense. Jey, that is, the nonsense, standing on the announce table, yeeting or whatever he does. Gunther
Yeeting is the verb.
continues the assault in the ring, hits a powerbomb, locks on a submission. Officials get involved. Gunther shoves them off once, hits another powerbomb, starts to walk away. Jey finds the energy to announce that he will, in fact, challenge Gunther, the worst kept secret in wrestling, I would say, at this point.
Yeah.
At Mania, Gunther heads back to the ring and Jey dives onto him. So we're getting the match we don't want. And by all accounts, I can't imagine Jey doesn't win, right?
Yeah, this is the world we live in.
Good for him. Backstage, Rhea Ripley thinks that Charlotte is stalling, making her decision to stay relevant. Maybe.
I don't disagree.
Io shows up and tells Ripley that she thinks Rhea cost her match at Mania. Io's coming after Rhea. Rhea seems to be fine with that. And then later in the show, Ripley agrees to give Io a title shot at Elimination Chamber, which I think we also predicted.
Raw after Chamber.
Is it? Oh, it's not at
Which
Chamber?
is the weird part.
My mistake. So I was wrong. I thought it would be at Chamber.
I would think that would make more sense, yeah.
Io and Dakota take on Liv and Raquel. So the baby faces are using their speed and double teaming to control the monster Rodriguez early on. And then the heels get control, isolate Io for a while. The pace is really slow at that point. Kai gets the eventual hot tag. My note says more like warm tag, to be honest. She ends up kicking the ring post when Rodriguez moves, so the heels take over again. Kai's the face in peril until Io tags in to dominate Liv. Dive onto both on the floor. Assisted code breaker by Liv to Io looked awesome out of the corner. I think Cole called it the Oblivion. Smart. Or whoever. Is it Cole on commentary even? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Or is it Tessitore?
No, Tessitore's on SmackDown.
Right.
Now.
Then a chiropractor, which looks cool, to Liv. Pinning predicaments for both sides broken up as the action picks up. Liv gets busted open somehow. Io moonsault to Liv, and it's over after 14 minutes. Ended up being a good tag match by the end, and I just think that Io's on a different level from the rest of the people in this. And the ref lost control in this, those of you who criticize AEW for that. But that's honestly when, like in AEW, that's when the action got better, right? Because everybody's involved hitting stuff, and it's cool.
It kind of, I feel like there should, like in a long tag match, there should always be at least a period where that happens. Like,
I agree.
Not to the point of excessiveness, but like at least a bit.
It just adds to the pace, right? And I like a fast-paced match.
And the ref can't hold it together forever.
Right. I don't know if this was from SmackDown or not, but it's Kevin Owens doing another promo from a car talking about Sammy on last week's Raw. And I like this. He's basically pissed at Sammy because Sammy did nothing to help him at Rumble when Cody tried to end his career, which I think is not even an overstatement, right? And then he's like, I went back and I was watching the Rumble match and I had to sit there and watch you, Sammy, come to Roman Reigns' aid in that match.
Okay.
So what the hell, right?
I
think that's great. He's like, Sammy's a horrible friend, a disgusting human being, and he will make Sammy pay. And I
like that.
Honestly, he's on the verge of tears for part of this in the car. And again, this is not new territory for.
Like he's almost a good guy, almost.
It's not new territory for Owens or Zayn, but both of their abilities to act.
It's a new twist on it, though.
Right? And their ability to act and cut promos will make me care about this a lot before we get to the eventual match, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
So is this a Mania thing, you think?
I think so.
So, yeah.
Plus, it's better than like Owens could probably do Orton, too, but.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I think KO's logic is strong here and his emotion. It's really, really good. Gunther, what is this? Gunther is part of some WWE reality show and is mean to the recruits.
The LFG.
Legends and Future Greats on A&E. And Gunther
it's
and
like
Bubba Ray.
It's tough enough. It's tough enough.
Yeah. Bubba Ray's involved too. And then later they showed a clip with CM Punk giving them some heartfelt advice because he's there to,
because he's the nice
help
one.
help the future.
He cares
of
so
this.
much.
We get Chamber qualifier that was sloppy, I thought. Bayley, Lyra, Valkyria. McAfee and the crowd now are forcing sounds into Lyra's entrance because this is something that we have to do now to get your, you know how Rollins has it and Oba Femi has it and Jey Uso has it.
I like Oba's.
So it kind of, this trend is getting tiresome a little bit. We have holds, counters, escapes early. Bayley is too close to the corner on a sunset flip bomb. We get a weak tornado DDT by Lyra where commentary even have to be hit it with. They didn't get all of it. Bayley hits some sort of awkward move to Lyra that ended up being a slam, and McAfee calls it innovative, which I think is another sort of cover up. Bayley counters a Mahi Straw for the win in 10 minutes. Under-delivered considering who was involved. I'm not sure what was going on. There was a few things that were not executed well. And as you pointed out when we talked about this, you just had your Intercontinental Champion lose clean.
And not defending her title.
Right. Not defending her title, losing clean. Kind of an odd decision. We get a Penta vignette with lots of fire in the background. Basically, he fears no challenge, thinks that Kaiser and Dunn are cowards. He's beaten them both, and now we will show them what true vengeance looks like. He is coming for them. So I guess he's still involved with them, even though we don't know really what Dunn and Kaiser's affiliation is. I'd be open to it if they end up working together, because so far they're saying they're not. But
they're un-Americans 2.0.
So, then we go to Kaiser with Jackie. He says he won't stop until Penta is done for good. Pete Dunne interrupts and said that he was not trying to help Kaiser last week and would never help him. Dunn tells Kaiser to watch what Dunn does to Penta next week, and Kaiser said that Penta is all Dunn's, like you can have him, sort of thing. So again,
so wait, he said he's not going to wrestle Penta's done, but you can have him,
right?
Huh?
This week?
Oh,
I guess.
Next week? Was it this week?
No, sorry, whatever the next match it is.
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
I'm not sure again what's going on with Kaiser and Dunn, if anything, but
it's a ruse.
Maybe
it's like
they just keep failing to beat Penta and then need to sort of form an alliance. I don't know.
It would make me think that Phoenix is coming, even though he's not.
So then it looks like we have the next program because AJ Styles walks by and Kaiser kind of gives him a look to end that segment. So I think that's in the near future. Another match for Kaiser to lose and look good.
Yeah.
That is his station in life at this point.
Yeah.
Ivy Nile mocks Lyra Valkyria backstage for losing her qualifier match. Lyra says she said, I don't step to you in the gym, and Nile shouldn't step to her in the ring, which I think is a pretty fair assessment. Nile says the Creeds are taking the tag titles later tonight. No, they're not. Nile as the mouthpiece for the Creeds. That can't be a good idea. But honestly,
especially when Gable's there,
she didn't sound as bad as usual. So that's something, I guess. AJ Styles is in the ring to speak. He's back to get his career on track and remind people that he is phenomenal. Dominic Mysterio interrupts with Carlito in tow and says that Judgment Day run Raw. Sorry, since when? Those days are over, Dom. No offense. Styles says that Damon Priest, and then he corrects himself, left them, and so did Ripley. Points out that Finn isn't here either. Dom will always be Ray's punk-ass kid. Well, that's just too much. So Dom tries to hit AJ.
Yeah,
AJ,
I thought that was like a women's division kind of line.
AJ ducks and hits Carlito with a Pele kick. Styles then takes out Carlito with a phenomenal forearm. Dom escapes. So this is just like obviously leading to a match, and Carlito's there to take a beating from AJ before he gets his hands on Dom. So pretty basic segments setting up a program for AJ. Dominic still gets awesome heat from the crowd. He's kind of like the heel version of Jey Uso, but I would argue with a bit more potential. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's hated just because of the gimmick and his look and stuff. Which
I feel like he has some more substance to him, though.
He does. So Pierce makes a Dom AJ match official for later in the show, and Breaker shows up in a cowboy hat to stare down AJ. So it looks like AJ might be, working with Dom, then Kaiser, then maybe getting to an IC title match. Kind of looks like his path, which is fine. Seth Rollins takes his turn with Jackie. Rollins will face Balor in a chamber qualifier next week, and Balor interrupts the interview. He mentions that Rollins lost to CM Punk and then lost his mind at the Royal Rumble. What's standing in Balor's way is a guy that's falling apart. Rollins points out that they go back a long way, and everybody knows they put on a show anytime they're in a match. Rollins has to get revenge on CM.
Doesn't Rollins always beat him though?
I think so.
He beat him, or wait, no, because Balor beat him in the first match.
And then hurt himself, right?
So that's the only time then.
Rollins has to get revenge on CM Punk and tie up loose ends with Rhodes. Balor is standing in his way, but after next week, Balor won't be standing at all. So this was short, simple way to add a little something ahead of their match next week. And Seth is not wrong, and they'll likely have a good match. And I do like that he's kind of keeping those issues with Rhodes and Punk alive, right? So it's, again, he's got lots of different directions he can go. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. We're supposed to care about some commercial that McAfee did. It was all about him getting in a bald cap and a mustache. Cool. I don't even know.
Sounds awesome.
Don't know what it was for.
You didn't watch that?
I did not. Tag team title match, Creeds and War Raiders. Creeds are already in the ring. So, I'm like, I wonder who's going to win this one. I thought Eric looked awesome dominating both Creeds. I just really like Eric's offense. I think it looks great.
Ray Rowe.
We get a Brody King style crossbody by Ivar, but it's to Brutus up against the ring apron instead of in a chair. Looked good. We get a superplex moonsault to Ivar after a Nile distraction that looked good.
That was pretty cool. I did see that.
It was. Julius stops the War Machine with a belt shot. Creeds get DQ'd. Brutus takes the other belt and hits Eric in the head with it, and the Creeds are standing tall holding the belts. So again, a good back and forth 12-minute tag, and considering the outcome, obviously they're going to run this back in a bigger spot, and I'm okay with that. Although I saw Creed is... Julius is going on like one of those Ultimate Fighter things.
Like American Gladiator?
No, like Ultimate Fighting training thing, show, whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Balor and Dom get face-to-face in their clubhouse. Balor says he won't help Dom in his match with AJ next week. Dom thinks that they should add a new member. So Balor says no. He'll win his qualifier, then the chamber match, then head to Mania. So is this like, I feel like this is just a ploy to stay relevant. Like, we might add a new member. Cool.
I could see them adding someone, or maybe they'll oust Balor. I don't...
Who do you think they would add? Who fits? Malachi?
Okay, so hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because they already mentioned the dark arts thing.
Right.
Yes.
He's not a luchador, though, because isn't...
Yeah, but I don't even know if that part matters anymore.
No.
And, like...
They have gone dark arts, you're right.
And Judgment Day was a spooky faction at one point. I remember that's why Edge left, because he didn't want to do that.
Up the spooky.
Like, I'm just saying, I don't
know
impossible.
If it's a great fit.
I don't think it is, and I don't think Black needs a Okay, I can't say that because he's just in a faction.
I would love for Balor to get out of there.
I don't think Black needs this faction.
Fair.
Let me just say that.
I'd love to see Balor liberated from this.
I agree.
And I like Judgment Day.
I like to see Balor legitimate.
Peak Judgment Day was very interesting. It is not. We are far from that, though. Punk seems to want to take longer than Jey Uso to start his in-ring promo, because I think it went across a commercial break too. He's annoyed that Cena got to just announce that he was in the chamber match. I think that's fair. Other people are having qualifiers and he just goes, I'm in it, right? He says Drew ran away from him to SmackDown. He's confident he'll win chamber and go to Mania. And then Logan Paul interrupts. He reminds Punk that it was Paul that eliminated Punk from the Royal Rumble. He says he has Punk's number at the chamber too. But tonight, it's time for Ray's 15 minutes of fame before he loses to Paul in their qualifier match.
I'm praying this is the Mania angle for Punk.
You think so?
So then he doesn't get his main event.
Tangled up with Paul in it?
I mean, it's still a major spot.
It is.
At least. I'm just hoping that because then it robs him of his main event. It keeps him out of Rollins and Reigns.
That's true.
It would just be the best case scenario for me. And I actually would rather Logan Paul win.
Punk says he forgot all about Paul and tells Paul to worry about Ray, and Punk might see him in Toronto when he puts him to sleep. Ray's music hits. I mean, there wasn't a lot to this segment. Punk, I thought, didn't seem as motivated or fired up at all compared to the promos he's been cutting recently. Almost like it's like Logan Paul's beneath me kind of deal, which maybe is not wrong. I don't know. It kind of made Logan Paul seem a bit insignificant to me. I might be reading too much into it.
Yeah.
Chamber qualifier main event, Rey Mysterio, Logan Paul. Paul cost Rey a tag match last week against New Day, so that's where this started. We get the second rope moonsault follow-away slam, right?
He's
lifting.
He's taking more hangman moves. It's
right.
That he's been doing the buckshot.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Sliding splash from Mysterio always looks really good. He hits a nice lion salt. And then we get a nice follow-away slam, and Paul hits his own lion salt. So they each got a shot at that. And then we get a lot of fast-paced stuff before a crazy-looking flipping DDT finisher by Paul.
The Pulverizer.
It is cool looking. Stupid name.
It's like I think it's kind of funny. It's like back suplex into a DDT.
It's cool. It looked cool. So, I mean, this got 17 minutes. I thought it was really good by the end of it. Kind of started off slowly and built because they had a lot of time, and Ray's an old man, so maybe he just can't cook for 17 minutes straight. But fast-paced finish, cool-looking finisher. I had a feeling Logan Paul was going to win. But the match kind of overcame that, you know what I mean? Where I
Mhm.
knew the outcome, but I still enjoyed it. So not on the level of star power of recent main events on Raw, but I really
I
thought it
guess
was,
like it has a purpose with the chamber at least.
and it was fun to watch, honestly. Like, I thought it was a good match. Hate to say it. Hate to say nice things about Logan Paul because he's a
But he do what he do.
10 pounds of garbage in a 5-pound bag, but he is an athlete for sure. NXT quickly, straight into a Bayley Cora Jade match after we watched the obligatory people walking into the building that is now standard issue on every
It's like they got rid of
WWE
the
show.
camera cousin, did this instead.
The camera angle does not help Jade's knee strikes, so obviously they weren't looking very good. Jade controls the action early. Bayley takes over for a while, including a Bayley to belly for a near fall. We get a botched sunset flip in the corner, audibled into a sitting pinfall attempt by Jade. Nice sequence where they avoid each other's signatures. Then Bayley ends up countering Jade's high knee in the corner with a fireman's carry into, I think, what was like a side effect, basically. It looked really cool. Her early NXT theme music hits as she climbs the ropes, and it
I did see
distracts
the
her.
music was actually there.
They did not show the person walking to the ring for more than a second, and the lighting was all really weird, so I wasn't even sure who it was. It wasn't until Graves tells us it's Perez, and obviously that makes sense, and I make that connection.
Yeah.
But because she's dressed like Bayley, and the lighting is terrible, and they showed it for a flash, I was like, I don't know who's coming down for sure.
I was disappointed they didn't have electrons going. I thought it's always weird when they play
And the
music
wacky
and there's
waving
no
inflatable things they should have fired up too.
That would have been funny, yeah.
So Bayley eventually goes to attack Perez on the floor. Jade takes advantage, hits her DDT on the floor, gets Bayley back in the ring, hits another DDT for the win. And this is like a backhanded compliment, I guess. The match is as good as you're going to get from Cora Jade, and I'm sure that's working with Bayley, right? Brings that out. Huge win for Jade regardless, and a simple way for the Bayley Perez
now
stuff
you get
to
her on a
continue,
PLE like you always wanted.
to take a pinfall, I'm sure.
Honestly, that's probably accurate.
Ava comes out after the match, makes the triple threat for the title a 4-way because Cora Jade, and like,
She didn't even pin the champion though, so is that
and so
really...
you're the GM and you're watching, and the only reason Cora Jade won is because of a distraction and shenanigans, and you're still like, nope, that earns you a title shot now.
Should have just had her in from the beginning. It would have made more sense.
So Perez is trying to act like she's happy about it, but she's not. And at least the 4-way has multiple stories going on. It doesn't feel like it's just 4 women together. You know, they're actually backstory there.
That's true.
And I'm sure Jade is there to get pinned. Women's locker room, Zarya and Sol Ruka. Sol wants to take Zarya to train at the beach. Zarya agrees, but only if they do things her way. And then Nikita Lyons is there insulting them and suggesting that Sol is holding Zarya back. Don't disagree. Nikita refers to herself, I don't know if she's done this before, as Big Cat Kita. And she challenges Zarya.
No.
I have to admit, I thought Lyons was kind of cool here. Not cool enough to make me want to watch her wrestle, but she was confident and believable and kind of a dick, and I liked it. Big Cat Kita.
I don't know. I don't like it.
And so Zarya here was back to the way that annoys me, right? But I'm sure it's part of a larger story, and where she becomes more interesting. But I really think that, so my problem is not that you're telling this story, right, of her befriending Sol Ruka and being a normal woman in the back, but that you're telling this right away. You know what I mean? You
didn't even give her like a chance to be what she kind of came in as.
You promoted her as a monster. You brought her in looking really strong and F5ing people and hitting power moves. And I think they wasted a chance to have a really good run with her as like a heel monster.
Which they never really got going.
Right? If she's good in ring, which the jury's still out because I really haven't seen a ton of her yet. But she could have been a dominant force, and they could have told this story later, right? So
instead of jumping the gun on like
maybe
something
that's
different.
Just me, because they went, hey, she's amazing, and we're gonna tout her as this mysterious powerhouse, almost like a Ultimate Warrior type of thing. It's like, nope, she's just another girl in the back hanging out.
She should go talking
crap,
chop logs in the woods.
Right, exactly. Maybe that's what she needs.
That's what she's missing.
Then we get an Oba Femi and A-Town Down Under segment, and I was really into it because I think what they're doing, and I'm sure you saw it, is Theory and Waller were obviously, it was a ruse to attack
Which
Oba
I think
Femi,
was a stupid ruse because
it
doesn't make sense.
I also think they hit on some stuff and got a little too personal, and so there's a little bit of
I can see that
within them, because I was liking it and going, man, they are taking shots at each other.
I just think their plan was kind of stupid because it's like, we know you're a team, so, and because it's going to cause that dissension you're talking about, so they should just beat up Oba.
So I feel like each of them went a little bit too far in the ruse and got a little bit personal, because it was kind of like I was the one grabbing the tag team titles from the ladder while you were at the bottom of the ladder or whatever.
Right.
And I've had singles titles and you haven't, and blah, blah, blah. So I like that, and I think it was baby facing theory. And
I think that's what was happening when they were teasing it last year, and then they never went anywhere with it.
And I was telling you, these guys feel like a bigger deal in NXT. Like, I think they would fit there better. In main roster, I consider them kind of like a low card kind of joke. And in NXT, they kind of feel relevant to me.
Relevant. That's a good way to put it.
I liked the teasing of dissension between them, right? So I'm hoping the story is, yes, it was a ruse to beat on Femi, but we kind of got personal with each other. They got under each other's skin for real. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm hoping it went with, because I kind of enjoyed the segment, to be honest, and I didn't expect to. A doctor via video clears Javon Evans for Vengeance Day. Ava still doesn't want him to take the match, but he insists. So she has him sign a liability waiver protecting NXT if Evans gets hurt again. So I don't know what the point of the doctor was. You could have just told us that. I don't really need to see your fake doctor, but anyways.
Legitimacy.
Match of the night. This was super fun. Briggs, there you go. Yoshiki Inamura taking on Walker, and Ledger, Hank and Tank taking on a no quarter catch crew. It's Bourne and Tavion Heights. A few highlights of this. I really enjoyed this match. Inamura spins really fast a million times before a body slam. He and Briggs, they have this interesting like smash mouth style to them. Briggs with a goozle into a power bomb for a near fall. People diving everywhere. Action all over the place. The crowd is really into this. Clothesline from hell by Briggs, and then a cool looking top rope splash from Inamura, because he's kind of like a thicker dude, right? Like, not quite Ishii, but he's definitely not chiseled.
Something like that.
So his splash I thought looked really cool and impactful. So they pick up the win, as I kind of expected. Fraxium are on the mic up in the balcony. They compliment Briggs and Inamura and agree to give them a shot at Vengeance Day. This match was 12 minutes, full of action. I really enjoyed it. Hard hitting stuff. Solid match to establish Briggs and Inamura as a legitimate team, because it's kind of been like, what have they actually done to be demanding title shots and stuff, right?
Right, because didn't they request it the other week?
I don't see them beating Fraxium yet, and I don't think Fraxium should lose for quite a while. Like, you need to build somebody. And again, the story for Fraxium has been that they spread themselves thin, so I think for them to lose, you have to lean into that again.
Yeah, or just build up like a really good
Maybe they're
team.
on main roster. Maybe they're having singles matches. Maybe whatever. Like Fraser's up on speed.
Maybe a weapon starts walking.
Right, something like that. That would be amazing. The North. Anyways, good match. Very entertaining. The family's backstage. Stack says he's sorry they haven't been on the same page, and he's been in his own head, kind of apologizing to Tony. Tony says it's all good, but in this cage match tonight, he wants to do it alone. Everyone knows, even Izzy Dame. Why would he mention her, I wonder? And what do they always say? Forget about it. So, and then I was wondering if Stax gave Tony a look as Tony walked away. It's kind of possible, and I kind of hope so, because the family is not my favorite gimmick. NXT Heritage Cup match, Lexis King versus JDC. It says, the commentary said, so this gives me a bit of hope, under Lexis King rules. So does this mean once he loses, we can go back to it being cool?
But like, do you really want to? It doesn't play to TV.
I do. I don't care if I lose a round. I would rather than not have it at all than have it just be a one fall to a finish. It's just a belt you can't wear, right? And we don't need more of that. It was something unique, and it's supposed to be for guys that can really wrestle and blah, blah, blah. You have the corner people that can, I don't know. So I'm hoping that's fair. They chose their words carefully. JDC dominated most of the match with all his signature stuff. King caught JDC in the corner, hit the coronation out of the corner for the win. Match was okay, and I'm just so disappointed the Heritage Cup rules are gone. Kalani, Jada, and Ashante on Petrovich's behalf argue about who should get the next North American title shot if Henley can retain. Henley basically walks away telling them to figure it out. They need to stop putting Kalani Jordan in speaking spots next to Jada Parker. Jada Parker is so good and confident and so believable, and Kalani sounds like she just memorized the script 5 minutes ago and she's not good at delivering it. And that direct comparison does not help her out ever.
The contrast right in front of you.
Yes. Zarya, Nikita Lyons. Lyons gets some offense in. Zarya hits a spear and an F5 for a win after 3 minutes. Just a win for Zarya, right? Nothing special. I think they've sort of realized Nikita Lyons cannot be focused on in-ring for lengthy matches. So, like, be a bitch backstage and then lose. seems to be her spot.
Seems right.
The NXT spotlight is Ethan Page. They've changed. This used to be more like give us new information. Now it's just a way for them to do what they normally do and call it something different, I feel like. So he says Evans is cleared, but leads with his heart and not his head. Javon has massive potential, but is risking it all by trying to get his hands on Page. Evans has $1 million smile and a 10-cent brain, which I kind of liked. It's not Page's fault. What he does to Evans, it will be 10 times worse, and he will end Javon Evans' career. He sounded, that is Page, really focused and serious here. I'm afraid, not afraid, but I assume he loses to Evans, and then main roster probably.
Think so.
And then hopefully Alexander can.
I hope he sticks around for NXT to do the North, but I don't know.
I don't think so. It feels like Page is on his way out shortly after Mania, maybe. Stark shows up through the crowd, as we talked about. He's the absolute superstar of the future and the hottest free agent. He's here to turn NXT upside down. I didn't think this was his best effort. Like, it was really brief, nothing special. They can't even use his name. It's just like, he's here. It's a surprise he's here. Awesome, I guess.
Thought he always sounds good to me. But
he sounds good, but this wasn't like, I didn't get super excited about it. I'll put it that way. Andre Chase runs into Cale Dixon, who's excited to introduce him to Uriah Connors. Okay.
David Finley's brother.
Right, that's what I thought. They invite Chase to go out, I think, partying with them. Chase says he can't because it's a school night, and they're like, what do you mean it's a school night? I thought Chase U was gone. And he's like, oh yeah, it is. And then Connor says, we'll see, as Chase walks away. So I don't know where this is going.
New Chase U.
But there are more students.
And they have to call it New Chase U, because that always works.
New Chase U?
Like, new. You have to have the word new.
Yep, and it'll be just as
always
good.
Works.
So the main event is Holland and Tony D in a cage for the North American title. Tony does his suplexes and throws. Holland does his usual stuff. We get a botched clothesline spot before Tony powerbombs Holland into the cage, spears him for a near fall. Izzy Dame comes down with the crowbar. Stax is all mad she's there, takes the crowbar and puts it into the ring. So that's what she was going to do anyways. And Tony wanted no help, remember, so he may be annoyed by this later. Holland gets the crowbar, uses it on Tony, including a shot to the back of the head, but a crowbar to the back of the head is not going to stop a mobster, so he kicks out of that somehow. Tony ends up with the crowbar, uses it on Holland, hits his forget about it for a 10-minute, like, I thought just a basic cage match. Yep, they threw each other into the cage a couple times, and a weapon got thrown in, but like a 10-minute cage, bitter feud culmination in a cage, main event on TV, got 10 minutes.
Makes sense.
Holland goes after Stax. Stax and Crucifino end up brawling up the ramp with Holland as Rizzo and Dame are in the ring checking on Tony. Spears and his two other guys, Jensen and
Nico Vance,
walk down to the ring. Rizzo is trying to close the cage door to keep them out. Tony's in the ring calling on Spears. Dame is behind Tony with the crowbar. She hits him in the back of the leg and she chokeslams Rizzo. Spears wears out Tony with a chair. Looked actually like a pretty vicious chair attack. And hits an avalanche DDT to Tony onto a chair. The beatdown by Spears after the match was way more violent than the cage match itself. So that's kind of stupid. And I guess Spears is the next contender for Tony, which...
I mean, give him the belt, give it a try.
The men's roster in NXT is not strong, I would suggest. Contrast to the women's that is stacked at all levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The men's, it's kind of like, who do we promote to any sort of title programs at this point? It's kind of soft. I'm
like,
hoping.
Obo was a smart one, but then it's
yes.
like after that.
Where do we go?
Like, Ego's kind of already done it.
And the trick experiment's done for me.
Dead.
So I don't know where, like, Spears, really? Come on. I think that's just like, you're a good hand. We have nothing else on the horizon.
Saying we need the North.
We do. Vengeance Day hype video to end the show, cut off by close-ups of people in skull masks and then the same silhouette of that new group again. So I don't know. I guess they're debuting at Vengeance Day.
Dion Lennox.
That's the draw, I guess, right? And I guess SmackDown hasn't happened, so that's going to wrap that up,
We just
right?
got our previews and that's it.
All right, so we're going to preview a couple of pay-per-views really quickly, and we will do that right now. We're going to take a look at NXT Vengeance Day and AEW, forget what it's called. Grand Slam.
Australia.
That's coming up right now. Which one do you want to talk about first? It doesn't matter to me.
Going with the one I don't care about.
I don't feel like
NXT.
this is a hard one to make predictions for. So
I
let's
don't
get
think so.
into that.
Okay, so tag title match, which is Inamura and Briggs against Fraxium. I'm gonna take Fraxium because we just mentioned it.
Very confident in that. Yes, Inamura and Briggs are an interesting team, but they really haven't done a lot, and it would be, in my opinion, crazy to take the belts off Fraxium right now to these guys.
Yeah,
it needs to be someone that's built a big story, a big deal. When Fraxium loses, this is not it.
Agreed. Ethan Page versus Javon. I took Javon.
I also said
that's the way to go.
I already said it's Javon. I don't think you can have him like you broke the guy's jaw. He had it wired shut. Blah blah blah. Like I think Ethan is not long for main roster.
And he could get a win back if he needs to, and then you build to like a bigger third match if you really want to. But yeah, I could see.
Also pretty confident in that one.
Yeah, I agreed. The strap match, Trick and Thorpe.
I forgot.
Figured it's Trick. Like
I didn't even mention that was happening. There must have been some reference to it on NXT this week, but
I feel like it's Trick because I don't know. I don't know if they're doing much with Thorpe.
It's Trick. I agree. Although, is this Thorpe's type of match or blah blah blah? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I don't know.
I really, unless Trick's on his way out and they want to elevate Thorpe, but I don't think the Thorpe thing is working. So
not even that. You can't have Trick up there. We already have Jey Uso, and we don't need another too overpopular, untalented guy populating the main roster.
And if they think people watch NXT, can they have him come up with his last, like he lost to Eddie Thorpe, right? So I agree.
That's true.
I'm taking Trick. I don't think we're going to have any differences on this one.
The women's title 4-way, Julia, Perez, Bailey, Jade. It's Julia. She just won the title.
Julia pins Cora Jade.
Bailey's doing things on main roster.
Yes.
Perez is also on main roster now.
Right.
Jade's not winning.
So I think that's literally they stapled Cora Jade to this match, as we talked about, just to take the pin.
Because I feel like earlier you could have had Perez take the pin, but now there's bigger things for her. Like she has a chamber qualifier the Monday after. So.
And apparently reports are right. They've had their eye on Perez getting to main roster, but
I actually respect that they did that because a lot of times they'll come up without plans, and like Blair Davenport, you're done.
And so I think they think Perez is legit, and they waited until they had something for her.
I actually, because that never would have happened in the McMahon regime.
Julia is not losing yet. She is pinning Cora Jade.
Yeah, I would almost bet on the exact result too. Then we got Femi versus Theory versus Waller for the NXT Championship.
Obviously, Femi.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Theory. I'm just kidding. It's gonna be Oba.
And I do you think that there's some splintering of?
I feel like we definitely heavily tease it here. I feel like that's almost entirely why we're doing this.
Does Oba pin both or stack them?
Could.
Yeah.
Because other than the fact that the division's bare, why would you choose these guys?
I agree.
Like, other than the fact that Oba doesn't have a lot of great challengers, there's no reason to be choosing them.
And
you could have chosen. I would have chosen babyface because I think Oba's more interesting as a monster heel.
And because Oba's kind of a tweener, it's interesting that maybe Theory's turning face. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
It felt that was the real vibe off that segment, but I don't think.
Well, I definitely don't think Waller would turn face.
I don't think there's a universe where Oba loses here.
No, definitely not.
All those picks were easy. All right, let's talk about
AEW Grand Slam, the one I'm more interested in for sure.
Yeah.
We got Mercedes Moné versus Harley Cameron for the TBS title.
That's pretty easy.
I think Harley's been killing it. I just don't know if she's ready for a title. I don't see them halting the Moné train for her, at least.
No.
And definitely not now.
And now that she pointed out, like, I'm still learning, developing as a wrestler, this can be part of that story.
I agree.
Right?
It doesn't hurt her. It helps the story. And if she improves, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
But for now, it's Moné.
Agreed.
For sure. Mariah May versus Storm. I'm not even fully confident because I'm concerned.
This one's tough.
But I pray it's not Storm. I can't do it again. I cannot go through her title run again. I personally cannot handle this. Like, for all the flack Death Riders get, I think there's still some bright spots. And at least it's serious. You can say it's not always the most coherent or the best, but it's serious. So at least they treat it legitimately. Storm is ridiculous. I can't do it again. May has to win. So I'm just picking her because I can't not.
I'm picking it May as well, but both because it's what I want, but I think that's the better story. If you want to pursue this Toni Storm thing and she has to have a belt, then have her be the one to take out Moné.
I hate that too, but
at least it's less. But Mariah May is on a roll right now. You have built a star that has not been in WWE, and she is fantastic in all aspects.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right decision. I don't want it, and I don't think it's the right decision to take the belt off of her. So I will take Mariah May.
I agree. I just can't do another Storm run.
Like, I'm not extremely confident, in that pick, but
I'm concerned.
We're
in Australia.
I'm better than 50-50 that I think May retains.
I agree.
I'll say that.
Then we get Okada defending the Continental title against Matthews. I'm going to take Okada. I love Matthews. I've always been a huge fan of his, and he's been more over lately. But I don't think he has much of a shot here. I would love it if I'm wrong.
And it should be a sweet match.
It should be awesome.
But I agree. Okada is not losing that title to Buddy at this point.
Which sucks because I would love it.
Again, I don't think it's a 0% chance Buddy wins, but it's more likely. It's like 11% or something. You know what I mean? So it's Okada.
Agreed. White and Copeland against Death Riders in the Brisbane Brawl, whatever. Copeland has no chance in hell of winning the title at Revolution, so he'll get his win here to build momentum. This will be a reoccurring theme.
And it's close to Jay White's home, right? Yeah. So I think so too. He's not winning the singles match, so he wins the tag match. I think it's kind of telegraphed. I'm pretty confident in that one as well.
Agreed.
Knowing how wrestling works, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think then what I should be the main event, probably the only one that's hard to pick, is Omega Powers versus the Callis Boys. It's Omega and Ospreay against Takeshita and Fletcher. So for me, I really feel like it could go either way. There's merit to either side winning, and either way, I can't really be mad. I would prefer the heels win because I love them both. I think there's a decent chance they do, as Fletcher beat Ospreay clean last year and Takeshita beat Omega back in 2023. So at least, like, unlike WWE, we have the precedent they're willing to put these guys over.
True.
The big guys, right? It's also a homecoming for Fletcher, which is always a factor. However, it's kind of Omega's return match. Like, they kind of glossed over it, but he did have a match on Maximum Carnage. But this feels like the big comeback match, right? Like, that match with Cage could have not happened, and this would pretty much be the same. So I feel like he gets the win for him and Ospreay. And he pins Takeshita to get a title shot at Revolution. So that's the match at Revolution. We get Omega and Takeshita 2. This time for Takeshita's title, and then we can also push momentum for Ospreay versus Fletcher 3. So I think the Omega Powers win here, and then Fletcher and Takeshita can get their big singles wins at Revolution.
True.
I think they should. Whether they do or not remains to be seen, but I think, like, I'd love for the heels to win here, but I feel like there's a better long-term plan here. So I think the Omega Powers win, and the heels can get, like, bigger wins the next show, because it won't be that long.
Is this the last match we're predicting?
Yeah.
Okay, so even though you laid out a compelling case, and I don't disagree with you, I will take the heels again because I feel like it could go either way, and I don't want to have the exact same picks for two pay-per-views.
That's fair.
I will take Takeshita.
That's probably the best one to go out on a limb on because I could see you being right.
I feel like it's the only one that you can kind of go out on a limb on
reasonably
either show.
Speaking, yeah.
So hopefully one or both of those shows, I think it's much more likely that's the AEW one, is really good, and maybe we'll talk about it ahead of time because it is a long weekend. Otherwise, episode 240 is going to be super lengthy.
Yeah, and
so maybe we'll do
try to get the worst of too.
A combined pay-per-view. I'm trying to get my worst of done this weekend as well. So lots of stuff in the chamber for us.
Elimination chamber.
Yeah, fair. We will definitely be back here next Saturday, or at least releasing it on next Saturday. Sometimes we're down here not on Saturday.
Thursday.
But 240 will come out on Saturday. You can pretty much count on that. We look forward to you giving us a listen. Tell some people about us. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. Whatever you can do to help us out would be amazing. See you back here for 240. Until then, everybody, take care.